On Atta Kujo getting 4,723 against Joycelyn Tete of the NDC, who got 12,778. So new ones coming in of Fasi Arabi, Ascent North Dai. So we have the NPP's Kujo Ponkroma getting 18,601 against NDC's Alfred Osei-Poku getting 13,415. So this is what we have. Of course, it be not too surprising. I don't know if you find anything.
Well, I would have been really surprised if Kujo had lost that seat, especially given the personal commitment he subsequently made in the constituency, having won it. Of course, you would notice that during his tenure at the Ministry of Information, at a point he slowed down, wasn't as vocal on the communicating government position as he was previously. In fact, during the COVID period, he was sort of the main spokesperson of the government, and he was supported by the Lojukuku candidate and Minister for Health. They articulated the position of the government repeatedly. But after that, we saw that he had slowed down, sort of had withdrawn from the frontline communication of government.
Have you financed a car with Close Brothers Motonovo or Black Horse from 2007? They could owe you thousands of pounds in
Sort of went to say that, at some point, somebody has to take care of the bill. And that Ghanaians took him to the clinics. So I noticed that he had sort of withdrawn from the front line. But while that was going on, he was committed to his constituency. When you meet him and you ask Charlie, say, bro, what is happening? So, Charlie, I had a constituency, I'm now farming and blah, blah, blah. All of that consolidating whatever gains that he has in the constituency. And therefore, and given the things that he did as Member of Parliament, investing in these areas, I'm not surprised that he has won. Now, if you speak to the members of the NPP, they tell you that, look, this election would have to be won for them by their parliamentary candidates. The best they would do is to push the elections to a second round and hope that they are able to win the majority of seats in Parliament and use that as a bargaining chip. Now, the question is whether the parliamentary candidates perform the magic. It doesn't look like it.
Because even in Ofasi Arabi, the NDC's Alfred Osei-Poku put up an impressive show. Because getting 13,415, that is no mean feat at all.
I mean, the discontent, the anger, the rage against the government, it's nationwide, right? And of course, when the party was hemorrhaging a lot of goodwill, the expectations were that they were going to do something about it at the very top. If they were not doing it, then on the ground, something needed to have been done. So take, for instance, when 90 odd members of the NPP in Parliament broke ranks with the party line and insisted that the Minister for Finance ought to leave, everybody expected that a government, a president who was listening to his own people would have taken the cue to say, look, these issues you raised, they are contentious. This is the first time in the history of the country, in the history of the party, that 90 or so odd members of Parliament are telling you that, look, your Minister of Finance would send us to the ditch. These were the people who work on the ground to get you elected president. They raised the matter. Now, what did we hear from the president? Well, I've listened to your concerns and I will think about it and I will take a decision. And once he's done with some of these things, give me some time, I'll think about it. The man went on to do what? 1 or about 2 more years before he was eventually relieved of his duties. Now,
and even at that, he was still around.
Exactly. So the question you ask yourself is, what would the 90 have seen as to cause them to say that our own finance minister should go. Yeah. And if the president was really listening, was the proper response to say that, look, I'll think about it. There are a few things I'm doing with the IMF. You wait, let the man deliver his budget, and then, I'll do something about it. And then go on to stay on with him for some time before eventually leaving. Now, so that is something that the NPP as a party has to think about, because it would seem that many of these MPs were reflecting the feelings on the ground. But for some reason, at the very top, you did not see the same level of energy to ensure that a different course of action was taken. Right.
Right. Let's look at North Dai, where we have NPP getting 4,723 against NDC's Joycelyn Tete getting 12,778. 12,778 against NPP's Edmond Atta Kujo getting 4,723. Nana, you want to say something about this?
No surprises. I mean, North Dai, typically will vote green. And so if you see some of these figures, I mean, there's no surprise there. And you can gauge the increase in performance based on the previous performance of the NDC. And as we have established throughout, anytime there's a change in government, then of course you can draw a pattern of apathy.
Right. So let's quickly go to the NDC headquarters because they are addressing the public now.
Central and Tema Central, there are serious security issues because of these deliberate, this deliberate delay of coalition in certain critical constituencies that the NPP believes the NDC has won. And in most of the constituencies, the NPP agents are nowhere to be found. For example, in some of the Bunu constituencies we have won, they are nowhere to be found to sign the results as collated. And EC officials are saying we are waiting for them. We want to tell the Electoral Commission that if the NPP will not come and sign, declare the results. It is not by force that polling agents sign. If they are not there to sign at the end of collation, declare the results. And spare the nation the tension you have plunged us into. And Alhaji Bawumia, for God's sake, you are an Alhaji. You call yourself Dr. Digital. So I'm sure that by now, through your many digital applications, you have collated your results. You know you have lost. Please, call your senior brother, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, concede defeat and congratulate him. And save this nation the unnecessary tension that you and your goons have plunged us into. Enough of the killings. Enough of the violence. Ours is a democracy governed by the rule of law. The will of the people expressed at the polls is supreme and must stand. Be a Democrat and respect the will of the people. Leading figures of your party have already considered defeat. Richard Anyagba has considered defeat. Even the defectees from the NDC who came to support your cause have considered defeat, like Alote Jacobs. All of them. What are you waiting for? Ghana is the only country we have. So please, do the needful. Concede defeat and call your supporters to order. And IGP Dampare will continue to commend you and the Election Security Task Force for the yeoman's job you have done. But your job is not done because we are nowhere near the conclusion of the electoral process. Your work is being undermined by certain elements in the New Patriotic Party and their collaborators in the military. What we are seeing at constituency collation centers is not what the IGP promised us, and it is not what the CDS promised us. And we know that they are not a party to what is happening. But only they can stop the nonsense going on. And they have to put their foot down. They have a choice to make. You choose between the NPP and the Constitution of Ghana. Choose between the outgoing government and the supreme sovereign people of Ghana. Your fidelity is to the Constitution of Ghana and not the NPP. They have lost. Nothing can save them. They can't kill all the people in Ghana. There is no way you can overturn this result through violence. There is no way. So, if they will not do the needful, by conceding defeat. We want you to put your foot down and stop the nefarious activities of these MPP thugs who have been clothed in military uniforms. And in some cases, real military men who have been given directives to go to constituency collation centers, scatter the place, shoot at people and all that. Human lives matter. Nobody is supposed to lose their life because of an election. We are appalled and disgusted by what is going on. The NDC has lost elections before, even when we were in power in 2016. We handed over power peacefully. Nobody died. Nobody was murdered. Even under Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, who was a soldier in 2000 when we lost power, not a single Ghanaian lost his life. In 2008, under J.A. Kufuor, an MPP president, the MPP lost power. There was a peaceful transition of power. Nobody died. In 2016, nobody died under John Mahama. Why is it that only you, in 2020, you killed 8 people? That blood is not enough for you. And you are still killing people. As we speak, you've killed over 4 people in this election. How many more do you want to kill? How many innocent civilians do you want to injure and hurt? You have lost. It's as simple as that. Your Sisifia campaign, Atonsium. It's as simple as that. And it is time to pack your things and leave the Jubilee House. Yes. And we want to tell the Electoral Commission, Madam G. Mensah, the peace and stability of Ghana now depends on you. You are the returning officer for the ongoing presidential election. Your officers are deliberately delaying the coalition process in some constituencies and in some regions. Please, madam, do the needful. Direct them to fast track the process. Where they have the full complement of pink sheets, there is no legitimate reason why they should delay the process. There is no legitimate reasons. In some regions, like Greater Accra, I mean, the declared results are not even more than 5. Meanwhile, the results are ready. What are you waiting for? And the situation is not any different in most of the regions. And so please, we call on the media, the Peace Council, the chiefs, the pastors, to call the EC to order. This is the time for them to intervene. The NDC has remained law-abiding and peaceful. We've acted responsibly against serious provocation from the NPP. Our people have been murdered, beaten to pulp, attacked, yet we have exercised restraint. But we will not sit aloof for EC officials to deliberately delay the electoral process in cahoots with the NPP for the sole purpose of giving room to thugs of the NPP to manipulate the results, at least at the parliamentary level. We will not allow that. So they must fast track the process. In constituencies where there are no disputes over polling stations, they must fast track the process. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for your attention. And let me quickly do a brief, and I'll be very brief. Let me do a brief summary in P of the presentation I just did. Abusuanfo, your friend Moha and your bonnet.
Right. This is the Election Bureau. So we heard once again the concluding part of what Sammy Gyamfi had to say. I mean, he's still calling on the Electoral Commission. And in fact, the NPP's presidential candidate to do the needful by calling former President Mahama to congratulate him. But the AC has also said that we don't have the numbers yet, you know, at the national level. So we want to hold on. But this is what the NDC is saying. We all went to the polls with our pink sheet. Our agents were there, so we know what it's looking like. Let's go ahead with it. Nana, what do you make of this?
Well, with all due respect to Sammy Gyamfi and the party he represents, I don't think it is for him to bring pressure to bear on any presidential candidate to call and to concede an election. the body mandated to declare a winner in any election here in Ghana is the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission has come out to say that per its processes and the various levels and layers involved, it is yet to receive results at its National Collation Center. And so, as a major stakeholder in this election that believes that it has won the elections with all the figures it has put out, perhaps it should be channeling this energy towards the Electoral Commission and not its contender, who is also by now putting his own figures together to challenge what figures you are putting out. And so,
or to confirm
same. You get it? So, I mean, I don't think it's for Sammy Gyamfi to be calling on a presidential candidate to concede to another. You get it? And so,
or probably he's advising.
Exactly.
Not demanding, suggesting.
I don't have a problem with him calling on the candidate of the governing party to concede. I don't have that problem. What I have problem with is the choice of words.
Right.
You know, look, at the end of the day, if the results get confirmed by the Electoral Commission and you are declared winner, right? You have the mandate of bringing the rest of Ghanaians
together. Yeah.
You understand? To provide a certain path for rebuilding this country.
Yeah.
If indeed the verdict is that this country has suffered some level of destruction over the last 8 years, if that is generally what people believe. So that's why I kept talking about it is important for people who are willing to be magnanimous. You understand? If indeed the people of Ghana have voted to oust the government because of corruption, that's it. That is what it is.
Yeah.
But this is not the time to sound as though you are on the political or campaign platform. You understand? If you believe that the numbers you have received show that you have won, I mean, you can still, you know, project confidence without sounding bombastic and, if you like, acerbic. We do know Sami, his choice of words and language, but I still believe that if indeed what is in the bag for the NDC is what is in the bag, then I think this is the time to actually pull back.
Very well.
And sound a little more, if you like, a little more decorous, if you like, because I don't think that the bombastic language sounding acerbic.
But Sky, are you surprised? In 2016, we saw a similar comment from the MPP when they were also winning. And where?
The point I'm making is that
it doesn't make any difference.
Yes, you see, because
this is politics. You need to excite your base. You need to, ginger your base. Now the figures are coming out from our own projections. We are on a certain course, to victory.
Yes.
So let me just empower my base. Get them excited.
You see, you can still excite your base by sounding magnanimous in victory, if indeed it is your victory. You understand? Because, like I said, it is not only NDC people who would have turned out to vote for NDC candidates in a particular constituency.
True.
Of course, there are people who would have been disgruntled with their own party, who would have gone there to say that, look, these guys have wasted my time, let me throw them out. Or who would have sat home and said that, look, we are not taking part in the process. And there may have been even non-partisan people who would have gone there to say that, look, I want these guys out because of A, B, and C. So it is important that someone within the party with some semblance of authority would bring his influence to bear to say that, look, the numbers we have show a certain trend, but in communicating that, let's sound a lot more refined. Let's sound statesman-like. Let's not raise the temperature. Let us take it easy. Because at the end of the day,
you need all the people.
You need every Ghanaian, or as much as possible, the majority of all of us, to get this country working.
Put on. We have presidential results coming in. So Nana, please take us through that.
I must say that
I thought I wanted to take on this one as well. I mean,
real quickly. Yes, let's go on.
I think we followed this process for some time.
Yeah.
And I mean, judging from how things were in 2016, 2016 is just repeating itself.
Just
In 2016 till date, we don't have a sense of the NDC's own coalition. Then there was this joke that their coalition system broke down or got hacked into. Till date, we don't have results.
Well, if it leads to a loss, you wouldn't see
Yes, till date, I mean, the MPP told us that.
You don't need it.
Told us
Yeah.
that by 8 p.m. yesterday, we were going to have at least parliamentary results.
Yeah.
And we trust them to have a very robust, system.
Yeah.
And they've said a lot of nice things about
On the
persons.
basis of their history.
They've said a lot of nice things about persons manning that system.
Yeah.
And so they have a system. They've perfected it, they have a system. And if it's the pin sheets they are all talking from, then they know what it is. All right. So we saw in 2016 how Sami Ewuku, then youth organizer of the party, and I wonder why the Samis are many.
They all play different roles.
Sami
Ewuku.
Ewuku, as youth organizer, was so incendiary and fiery, around this time, press conference upon press conference, and he was used as the youth organizer to charge the youth, so that if anybody has anything contrary to what the pink sheet was saying, the person will be warned or be cautioned. That is a similar thing they are doing now.
Right.
You have the result. In the end, it is the result that will be pronounced from, or the pronouncement will come from. That's what they are doing. Of course, they know. That's why he keeps saying provisional.
Yeah.
He's not saying confirmed because it is not it doesn't lie in his mouth to give the confirmed. He knows as a lawyer and by law there is the EC's job to do. And he keeps calling on the EC to do the needful. EC came out about an hour ago to tell us that the results haven't come to their place. And they are saying that some of the polling agents and people have run away because they know they've lost, so they failed to sign. And he's telling you that the law doesn't say that they must be available necessarily. What the law says is that if they are not there, it doesn't stop the process. So what the EC must do is confirm from the electoral officer, the presiding officer for the polling station, was this what you saw? And the other polling agents, when they are available, is this what you saw? Why is the guy not here? We don't know. We've looked for him. We can't find him. Let's go ahead and declare it. If they have a problem, they know where to go. They go to the court. But somebody who has allegedly run away cannot stop all of us from having anything. How many, how many confirmed results have you had from the EC? It's been 15 hours after the election. How many have you had? Very few. At this rate, we may continue for a long time. And the more we continue, the more the anxiety builds. We heard a language, and I earlier had cause to say that the language must be toned down. The language must be one of, it must be conciliatory. But if they come again, the language will be harsher than this. They come again, the language will be harsher than this.
If you think you have won, why not calm down? Let's wait for the EC.
There's a trust issue.
But you have your documents. Hold on.
All your documents
together, let me come
and
in
you are heading towards this
Sami, a
direction.
second. We all learned, when the NPP went to court, that you need your pink sheet. Everything is at the polling station. You are so sure of what you have in terms of your pink sheet. Whether EC takes 3 days, whether EC takes 1 week, it does not change the fact that this is the pink sheet.
Yes.
As of the time that the NPP was going to court, we had the election for God knows how long, but the pink sheet were still tendered in as evidence, and this is what we used. So why not we calm down? EC says in 72 hours, not even 24 hours.
I'm with you in principle, I'm with you in principle, but I'm telling you that from what we saw in 2016.
All right.
It's the same thing.
So you will come back to this, but
it's the same thing. It's the same thing repeating itself.
Yeah, but let's get the results coming in, and then we come back.
No, it's important. You see, the fact that something happened in 2016 does not without more mean that we should repeat it without learning from it. The conduct of the NPP in 2016 cannot be the standard for determining what is proper or what is statesman-like.
Very well. So let's just get more results. We'll come back to this. Nana, let's go through. No, Salom. You let's get the results. We'll come back to this. Yes, we'll come back to this. So you let's get the results. Yes. So please take us through the.
So far, we have received results for 42 constituencies out of the 276. So I'll run you through the verified. Yes, please. Through them real quick. I'll start off from Impoho. I'm doing the 2 leading candidates now. And so Impoho, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is polling 8,293. And then you have John Mahama, 11,062. If I take you to Asin Central, Mahamudu Bawumia, 15,139. And then you have John Dramani Mahama, 16,011. Ofoase Ajirebi, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, 18,124. And then you have John Dramani Mahama, 12,977. Okay, Asin North, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is at 12,705. 12,705. And then you have John Dramani Mahama, 17,762. 17,762. When you go to Navrongo Central in the Upper East region, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
We all deserve something special. Merry Spritzmas.
Mahama, you have 26,035. 26,035. And now I take you to North Dai in the Volta region. North Dai, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, 2,269. 2,269. And then you have John Dramani Mahama of the NDC with 15,115. 15,115. Those are the results from North Dai. Bia East in the Western North region, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, 5,737. 5,737. And then you go to that of John Dramani Mahama, and he's scoring 14,680. 14,680 in Bia East in the northeast or Western North region. Etiwa East in the Eastern region. Etiwa East in the Eastern region. You have Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia polling 17,208. 17,208. And then you have John Dramani Mahama of the NDC. He is polling 8,236. 8,236. Let's make progress and go to Pru East in the Bono East region. Pru East in the Bono East region. Pru West rather. Pru West. Pru West rather in the Bono East region. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is 12,265. 12,265. And you have John Dramani Mahama, 16,295. 16,295. I'll now take you to Tano North. Tano North, this is in the Ahafo region. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, 19,738. 19,738. And then you have John Dramani Mahama, 17,952. 17,952. In Akachi South, which is in the Volta region, you have Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia polling 2,195. 2,195. And then you have John Dramani Mahama, Akachi South. Yes, John Dramani Mahama polling some 17,952. 17,952. Let's still stay in the Volta region and do that of Adaklu. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, 1,375. 1,375. And then you have John Dramani Mahama, who is polling 31,564. 31,564. If I take you to the Ayawaso East constituency in the Greater Accra region, Ayawaso East in the Greater Accra region, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 8,167. 8,167. And then you have John Dramani Mahama, 22,864. 22,864. That's for Ayawaso East. Ekuapem South, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 16,516. 16,516. And then you have John Dramani Mahama, 13,232. 13,232. Let's go to Asante Akim North. Asante Akim North in the Ashanti region. Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 23,101. 23,101. And then you have John Dramani Mahama, 13,904. 13,904. 13,904 from Asante Akim North. Okre in the eastern region, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 12,122. 12,122 for Dr. Baumia. And then you have 9,266. 9,266 for John Dramani Mahama. That's for Okre. In the Ebriem constituency, also in the eastern region, Ebriem constituency in the eastern region, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 16,841. Ebriem constituency in the eastern region, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 16,841. And John Dramani Mahama polled 12,517. John Dramani Mahama, 12,517. Let me take you to Brekum West. Brekum West in the Bono region. Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 7,686. Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 7,686. And then John Dramani Mahama, 12,218. 12,218. That's it for Brekum West. Yonyo in the northeast region, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 8,346. 8,346. John Dramani Mahama, 12,083. 12,083 for the Nyunyo constituency in the northeast region. Let's descend to German North. German North in the Bono region, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 12,837. 12,837. And then John Dramani Mahama, 22,622. 22,622. That's for German North. In Nabdam in the Upper East region, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 5,959. 5,959. And then John Dramani Mahama, 11,393. 11,393. That's for Nabdam. Keta in the Volta region. Keta in the Volta region. 2,141 for Dr. Mahamudu Baumia. 2,141 for Dr. Mahamudu Baumia. and 30,995. 30,995 for John Dramani Mahama. Okay, that's for Keta in the Volta region. Dafiama Busie Isa in the Upper West region, 3,605 for Dr. Mahamudu Baumia. 3,605 for Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, and 13,481 for John Dramani Mahama. 13,481 for John Dramani Mahama. In the Ododio constituency here in the Greater Accra region, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia polled 22,624. 22,624, and then you had John Dramani Mahama polling some 40,100 votes. 40,100. We'll stay in the Greater Accra region and take you to Adan. In Adan, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 3,215. 3,215. And for John Dramani Mahama, 25,807. 25,807. That's it for the Adan constituency. In Kumewu in the Ashanti region, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 20,787. 20,787 for Dr. Mahamudu Baumia. And you had 6,805. 6,805 for John Dramani Mahama. That's for Kumewu in the Ashanti region. Doma East in the Bunu region. Doma East in the Bunu region. You have 12,213. 12,213 for Dr. Mahamudu Baumia. And John Dramani Mahama is polling 11,138. 11,138. Let me quickly take you to the New Draben South constituency in the Eastern region, where Dr. Baumia is scoring 29,830 votes. 29,830 votes. And JDM John Dramani Mahama is polling some 20. No, this is not right. Just a second. Let me just correct this. New Draben South. Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 29,830. 29,830. And then you have John Dramani Mahama, 26,261. 26,261. That's for New Draben South. In the Afram Plains constituency, you have Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 5,909. 5,909. Afram Plains South, 5,909 for Dr. Mahamudu Baumia. And you have 16,479 for John Dramani Mahama. 16,479 for John Dramani Mahama. That's for Afram Plains South. Tano South. We're looking at 19,080. 19,080 for Dr. Mahamudu Baumia. And John Dramani Mahama is polling 19,331. 19,331. Let's move on to Ekropong in the Eastern region. Ekropong in the Eastern region, 25,094. 25,094 for Dr. Mahamudu Baumia. 25,094 for Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, and 16,422. 16,422 for John Dramani Mahama. in Sunyani West in the Bunu region. Sunyani
Right,
West.
please hold on the Sunyani region for me, because we have the NPP flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, addressing the press now. So let's go over and hear him. All right, so they are getting ready. We will go over shortly, so please go on.
Let's quickly run through Sunyani West in the Bunu region. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia,
all right, it
99.
looks like they are just about to go. Yeah.
So this
Yeah,
right.
we see
So these are live
yeah.
pictures from his residence, his official residence at cantonment.
Yeah.
These are live pictures. You could see Mr. Fedowari, who is an aide to Dr. Bawumia in his office. You could see some other dignitaries within it.
The national chairman
chairman
we have
of
the
NPP.
general secretary
The
as
general
well.
secretary is also in there.
In fact, we also saw Kwabena Japan in
Kwabena
there as
Japan
well,
was
not
also
looking
in
too
there.
pleasant
Yeah.
anyway.
The expression on their faces.
Yeah.
No, these are faces that you can easily relate to what happened in 2016.
Yeah.
You know, I think they are now forcing or trying to smile.
Yeah.
But their initial outing,
When they didn't know the cameras were live,
yeah,
probably.
that doesn't send any sign of signal of confidence. It must have been really, really, really hard on all the people involved. I think there's some briefing.
So I think that's Miracles Abuaji, the director of community, trying to get some briefing from those present before the vice president will come and do the official address.
I remember clearly what happened in 2016 when JM finally emerged to address the media following the election
with his daughter.
Yeah,
I think Peter was in some shades.
It was like that. It was a difficult watch, and we're seeing the same thing play out. Truly,
is he coming to concede?
Yeah,
is he coming to raise?
Is he coming to say we should wait for the EC?
Their shoulders are falling.
To put out his own figures as the team has received. I mean, a number of possibilities, right?
Well, I mean, he has three options. Either confirm the trends on the basis of what they have received across the country, or provide alternative facts if those are really what their people have received from the grounds.
I doubt if they have, because if they have, they would have projected.
No, I mean, I'm just giving the options that are open to him.
Because they also have a strong room.
Or challenge what may or may not have been the files they have received. But at the end of the day, look, if the facts indicate that this has been a bloodbath and that the MPP performed poorly, and they have actually confirmed that with what they have received, I think the honorable thing to do is to give that indication that, look, I think we gave it our very best shot. It did not happen, and let us move on. It is not the time to come and, go into another 2008 cycle, claims and counterclaims and all of that. I believe they have received their numbers. I believe they know what the pattern is like. I believe they have a fair idea where this thing is headed. And once they are fully aware of what has been produced across the country, I think the finest thing to do is to say, look, this is it. We tried it. It didn't work.
If body language is anything to go by, I think that the message is quite loud.
This is loud silence.
Yeah.
State of mourning.
Not that, but I think we just have to wait to hear the words that would come out of them, because if we are reading the body language of the team,
the body language is important, but it may not be conclusive of anything yet. Perhaps they have figures that will suggest that it's a runoff.
Alternative.
And now they are coming up against what the NDC has put out already. that appears to be gaining grounds, together with what the media is seeing by itself around the coalition centers where they are and the coalition they are doing on their own. So that appears like an uphill task. So if they have figures which maybe suggest that it's a runoff, I'm not sure they'll have figures that will outrightly suggest that they have won, but they have figures that suggest that it's a runoff, despite the fact that they would have suffered major upsets in Parliament. They will have to put that out. And having that may not be defeat necessarily, but it will not be what they expect. So their body language will still be like this.
Because if you look at Chairman Team, if you look at Chairman Team,
if it's the body language of victory,
I'm not saying victory.
Because hold on. In 2016,
seriousness, you can
I was in Nana Akufo-Addo's house when there were clear signs of victory, and you could see among the shaking.
I'm not saying a sign of victory.
I'm down 2016, shaking each other.
I'm not saying if there's a runoff. If there's a runoff, if they are projecting a runoff.
Even runoff. I don't think this is the demeanor.
No, they are a ruling government. They are a ruling government.
But even at that, runoff would suggest some form of all hope is not lost.
Well,
but when you look at
let me. I'm getting this from a truly credible source that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has extended congratulations to Mr. John Dramani Mahama on his victory in the 2024 presidential election.
Absolutely. And this is coming from Krobia Kwabna Sante, and he shared this on his Facebook wall.
Well, this is a different.
Okay, so it's the same thing, meaning that this probably has been communicated across board. So he just wants to.
Is an aid to Dr. Mahamudu
Bawumia.
So Deputy Director of
exactly. So if he is saying that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia just called Mr. John Dramani Mahama to congratulate him for winning the 2024 presidential election, then pretty much the body language has said it all.
Yeah, so I told you that, I mean, when they emerged and the cameras rolled, I mean, I saw a replay of what happened in 2016. It was not what we saw in 2008, because 2008 was an entirely different election. It went into a second round. And if you looked at what had happened back and forth and all of that, people were still had some energy. But this one is like the whole energy is gone. Their shoulders are sort of like sagging, like, you can see the level of disappointment. People looking as though they have been truly beaten.
Exactly, folding arms.
Yeah, that's right. That is what you see when there is defeat. But look, it is what it is. And it is a beautiful thing to hear that Dr. Bawumia has called the former president to congratulate him.
Quite honorable.
Yes, we have to celebrate that, because what it does is to immediately lower the temperature.
Exactly.
And it sends a certain signal that in a democracy, when you stand for an election, you either lose or you win. In rare cases, it's a drawn game when they tell you that, okay, nobody has won. So yes, let's do it again. You understand? But on this occasion, there seems to be a certain total rejection of the NPP agenda for the next 4 years.
Right.
And I don't, as I was saying much earlier, unless by some miracle, it doesn't seem as though.
Well, okay, so Dr. Bawumia is just about
the much awaited.
Are you guys ready? Should I go? Is it okay? Ladies and gentlemen of the media, following yesterday's presidential and parliamentary elections, Ghanaians at home and abroad have been sitting on tenterhooks awaiting the outcome of the election. Let me say that the data from our own internal collation of the election results indicate that former President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has won the presidential election decisively. The NDC has also won the parliamentary election, even though we await final collation for a number of seats. However, I believe ultimately that these will not change the overall outcome. I have just called His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to congratulate him as President-elect of the Republic of Ghana. I said during the signing of the Peace Pact that I was sure of two things: Ghana will win and peace will reign. The people of Ghana have spoken. The people have voted for change at this time, and we respect that decision with all humility. I thank God Almighty for how far He has brought me, and I submit to His will. I am making this concession speech before the official announcement by the Electoral Commission to avoid further tension and preserve the peace of our country. It is important that the world investor community continues to believe in the peaceful and democratic character of Ghana. These are our most important assets. Ghana is more important than our individual political ambitions, and we must always put Ghana first. While this was not our desired outcome, I say this is part of the democratic process. We put our best foot forward in the contest, explaining our policies and programs. However, it is sometimes the case that the voter would have other ideas. I am very proud of the efforts of our campaign team, and I thank them very much. I assure His Excellency John Dramani Mahama of my full support in the transition process. As committed Democrats, we pledge to ensure that we have a very smooth transition so that the business of government will continue seamlessly. The MPP would offer the needed support to the new government in a very responsible way. Ladies and gentlemen, we have conceded defeat like any consummate Democrat would do, but we have not abandoned the fight to transform Ghana and expand opportunities to all sections of our society. We will not be a disruptive opposition, even though we would subject government actions and policies to strict scrutiny in the interest of our beloved nation. Our MPs, I am convinced, will do a thorough job to advance our democracy and ensure that the citizenry gets the best out of the democratic dispensation. To the rank and file of the New Patriotic Party, I know the feeling hurts, given that this is not the result you worked for. I know you would feel there is darkness ahead. That is natural, especially when in all sincerity you gave the assignment your all. But I assure you that we will regroup and come back even stronger. We will take stock of events and pick lessons to guide us going forward. In the interim, I urge you all to look into the future with optimism and hope. We may have lost the battle, but not the war. Let me also use this occasion to congratulate all MPs elect, with special emphasis on those from the NPP side. I would like to use this opportunity to thank His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, for his support and guidance over the years. I extend sincere thanks to the First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, for her support and wise counsel throughout my tenure as Vice President and during the 2024 electioneering campaign. I would like to thank my wife, Haja Samira Bawumia, who has gone over and above the call of duty in her support for me. My thanks also go to my children, my brothers and sisters, and
find the freedom to forget with simple broadband switching. Hyperoptic, we're in your corner.
Thank my running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, and his wife Alma, for their strong support in this campaign. I am eternally grateful to our revered traditional rulers, religious leaders, and the generality of Ghanaians for their support. I thank former President Kufuor, the Council of Elders, executives, and the rank and file of the New Patriotic Party for their solid support. To all Ghanaians who voted for me and the MPP to implement our proposed bold solutions, I thank you for the confidence you reposed in us. To all Ghanaians who didn't vote for me and the MPP in this particular election, I thank you for considering my proposals, even though you exercised your right to choose by settling on the eventual winner. Let me also thank the Electoral Commission for overseeing yet another transparent and fair election in Ghana. I also thank the security services for their role in maintaining the peace. My thanks also goes to the media for their excellent reportage. Ghana has won. Thank you very much, and may God bless you, and God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.
Righty, welcome back to the studio. So you heard Dr. Bawumia of the NPP, with his beautiful wife, the second lady Samira Bawumia, and leadership of the NPP. And he rightly stated, we may have lost the battle, but not the war. We live to fight another day. So this is, I think he's done an honorable thing, to calm tempers, to make the work of the EC easy for them. I mean, at this point, all we have to do is just come and list the figures to us, and let's all just go home and start preparing for transition. So
if the EC wants, the two parties can come together and supply them with the rest of the figures, and then they just go ahead and declare.
So now the work has also been very easy for party agents who, for whatever reason, decided not to sign. Come and sign. Let's know that it's a holistic document.
Those mysteriously vanished.
Exactly. Sky, you want to say something?
Well,
so this is where we are now.
Well, let me say that, look, I've been covering elections for quite some time now in this republic. And in all honesty, this, in my view, is easily one of, if not the very best concession speeches I've ever heard. And look, there are 7 key things that I pick out of what Dr. Bawumia just did. First of all, he acknowledged defeat, openly conceding defeat and stating that he called his main challenger, John Dramani Mahama, and congratulated him. That's the first thing. Then he focused on national unity, saying that, look, at the end of the day, it is our democracy, the republic, that has won, and that they would choose to be a constructive opposition as opposed to being disruptive opposition. That is also very cardinal. Then he spoke about commitment to peaceful transition. So previously you saw the rancor, the back and forth, we don't agree, we agree, we suspect rigging and all the claims that get made. And eventually people go to court and get thrown out. He says, we have done our own internal collation, collation, and we have come to the conclusion that this is a decisive victory for John Dramani Mahama at the polls, and then also in Parliament, a decisive victory for the NDC. Then he committed to peaceful transition. He moved on from there to speak about gratitude, because at the end of the day, there were people who provided him with a platform to become the flag bearer of the party. And then also there were people who guided him across the country. And then there were people who voted for him, people who supported his cause. And then he also spoke about people who, although they heard what he had to tell Ghanaians, did not buy into it, and they voted for the opposition. He celebrated all of these people. So that level of show of gratitude, it's solid. I mean, it shows that he is exuding all the trappings of a statesman, a consummate one. And then he sent a direct message to the supporters of the party that, look, we may have lost this battle, but this is not
the end of the
an
war.
indication that we have lost the war. Which is to say that there are times you go into battle thinking that you will win. You go in, you lose. What do? You retreat, take stock of what went wrong, re-strategize, and come back tomorrow. Stronger, hopefully. So it was important that he sent that message to the supporters, because they would have been devastated given what they are hearing and reading on social media. There are people who will not eat their fufu, or they were hoping to eat their fufu yesterday, but fufu no asai. He is giving hope to those people that, look, we have lost the battle, but we have not lost the war. So keep the faith. It is possible that we can do it again. Then he goes on to call for what? Constructive opposition. There may well have been a shellacking at the polls. Presidential.
So hold on, let me just add this to it so that you put everything together. So this is a tweet from John Dramani Mahama, and it reads, I have this morning received a congratulatory call from my brother, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, following my emphatic victory in Saturday's election. Thank you, Ghana. So the two leading gentlemen have spoken.
You see, that is also very instructive, because we are talking about two sons of Ghana who happen to be from the north. So as you would have heard people saying during the campaign, it was a decision to be made by Ghanaians on two people from the north as to which direction they wanted Ghana to go. Did they believe that Bawumia offered the right path to what the aspirations of Ghanaians are? Or they believe that a return of John Dramani Mahama would offer the better alternative? As the results appear to confirm, and if the commitments made by Dr. Bawumia and also the announcement by the NDC are anything to go by, it would seem that the NDC has won the election. We're just waiting for that confirmation from the Electoral Commission. But should that be the end of it? No. At least one son of the Republic, one son of the North, has won the election. Can we as Ghanaians rally behind the man who has been elected or projected as a winner to provide a certain direction for us for the next 4 years. At least we'll all sit down and see how ultimately he takes us. But that call to him, that call to John Mahama is a masterstroke.
Yeah.
It lowers the temperature. It gives a certain indication as to where things have headed. And it tells supporters of the party that, look, if you are preparing to do something untoward, hold your horses. Yeah. This is over, at least for now. Yeah. Let's get back, let's re-strategize, and let's come back. And I spoke about constructive opposition.
Yeah.
Look, the last 4 years, we've seen terrible performance of Parliament. As I said on radio some time ago, it was easily the worst Parliament we've ever had. Acrimonious, people just getting in the way and nothing really getting done in service of the Republic.
Considering how it started,
exactly.
This is how it ended.
Exactly. Look, the closeness of the numbers provided us with an opportunity to be able to serve the people of Ghana in a way that truly serves their interests. Yeah. But under this Parliament, we saw a total distraction, wiping away of the finances of the Ghanaian people. This Parliament presided over it. They allowed the finance minister to do all the things that he did, the government to do all the things that he did, and the disaster that we saw is a consequence of this Parliament's non-performance, in my respectful view. It is filled with some of the finest brains, but I do not believe that they have been value for money.
Right.
But Dr. Bawumia is saying that, look, we are not going to be an opposition that will simply seek to destroy everything. We will be constructive in our criticism, and I think that is important. And finally, he recognized key figures in the NPP and the country generally. Spoke about the outgoing president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He spoke about other key members of the party, including the vice presidential candidate of his party, the spouses of he himself, and then also the spouse
first lady.
First lady, and then the spouse of his running mates, and the national chairman, and all of these people, and I also spoke about the people who have been elected MPs, and even congratulated those who are not members of
exactly.
I think, in all honesty, this is actually a masterpiece of what a presidential concession is.
Sami, let me come to you.
Just a quick one that I want to add to what, I agree entirely with the 7 points you identified. Just 2 more I want to touch on. One will have to be on the economy. He rode on the back of his posturing for peace to underscore the need for a conducive environment for investor confidence. And that for me ticks the box of the economist that he is. And then, as a politician, you need to protect your political future.
Of course.
And so this entire exercise, this masterpiece of a speech that he has given,
and he has clearly stated that he is Ghana's future,
is to protect his political future. And so you will hear him touch on the peace pact and the promise that he made there, and this action of keeping to his word. And this positions him as a man of his word. And so if indeed he made a promise and he has kept it, in the future, as a politician, he should be able to endear to you, make up a better appeal.
I agree with you, because Sami, let me come to you. You know, when in 2016 we had the NPP coming in, it was 4 years or 8 years. Okay. Now with this, with President Mahama, we know that it is 4 years, meaning that there's still a lot of work to be done. They cannot go back to sleep. Now, I don't know how you would describe what Dr. Bawumia has done now. Is it very honorable? Are you impressed?
Very,
and let's also look at the battle that the NPP that he led, fought. I mean, coming back after 8 years, vice president, everything that has happened, you are part of it, because you are the second gentleman, whatever, you are the leader or the chairman of the EMT, right? So everything that has happened, you are part of it. Are you impressed? You have moved with them, with how they have fought till now and what he has done this morning?
I agree perfectly with the speech he gave tells you the kind of gentleman that he is, a peace-loving politician. And if you want to see how, a gentleman and peace-loving is, throughout his campaign, you didn't hear, so he was always campaigning on issues. So it wasn't surprising that he gave such a speech, thanking almost everybody, and especially thanking the president, because he rode on the record of the president.
Yeah.
And so it was just right and proper that he shows, gratitude to President Akufo-Addo for the support and, the guidance. And then he thanked family. Family is always important.
Yeah.
His wife and his children, because there are some decisions when you take, it has effect on your family.
And especially at this time, you're going back home.
And so thanking family is very important. Sky and Tufo have mentioned, the speech. I'm looking at the future of Dr. Bawumia. The future. Yeah. From here, what next? The NPP as a political party, you can easily say that does not really have a succession plan. And so for now, you will say that Bawumia will be the next, but the NPP may want to run its own internal primaries. But if he wants to stage a comeback and lead the NPP again, there's a high chance for him to do so, and the probability is very high. It also depends on his handlers and the people handling him now. If they do not abandon him and leave him to be alone, and they will still rally around him and get the support he needs, he may want to stage a comeback and get it to be possible for him to be on the ballot again for the NPP come 2028. But if they decide to abandon him, run after another candidate, obviously new individuals will emerge. The NPP as a political party that says it believes in democracy and the rest, you will get individuals emerging. But then the people who handle him now, if they still want to stick with him, there's a possibility that he may be on the ballot again for the NPP. So I'm looking at the future of Dr. Bawumia. Remember in 2008 when Nana Akufo-Addo lost, he didn't give up. Yeah. In 2012 when he lost and they went to court and still nothing good came out of him, he left the shores of this country. I was in his house when he gave that particular concession speech, said that he was going to travel outside, commune with his God, and whatever decision God will ask him to take, he will take that decision. 6 months after he flew down back to the country and said he's spoken to God. God says he should run again. So I'm sure Dr. Bawumia will take the same trend, knowing very well who he is. He may want to, take a rest for a while, at least some few months. Go commune with Allah. He deserves it. He's really run a very effective campaign, a very vigorous one. Yes, he started campaigning around June of this year, and from June till December, he's been on the road performing the role of a presidential candidate and a sitting vice president as well. So for me, the future is what matters for me. A future of Dr. Bawumia on the ticket of the NPP again. If the handles or the handlers with him as of now decide that still we have trust and believe in you, that you are the only person who can get the NPP back to the Jubilee House, obviously they want to support him and get through with this. Right,
Salam, like Christ said on the cross, it is finished. Now, flag bearer of the NPP, or Dr. Bawumia, has spoken. He has conceded honorably, and we've also had the confirmation of the, if I can say, president-elect. This is so similar to what happened in the United States. And I don't know what you think, but this is where we are as a country, making the work of the AC very easy for her.
Well, exactly so. Very, very commendable speech, very good speech by our standards. Has all the elements of a good concession speech. Very, very great speech, and he did it in good time. He did not wait further because you know what it is, you know what's on the cards, and so he's made the work of the EC easy. The tension in the country will reduce now, or will diffuse, because if the man you are fighting for has conceded, then what's your point? So I think that's a good one. And like you said, they put their best foot forward, but that was not good enough. Sold their message and sold it vehemently, but it does appear that the people had other views. And what is important is that he pledged his support to John Dramani Mahama, especially for the transition period. We saw sometime in 2009 that transition period was very short and it was not very effective. The
Kojo Mpiani kind of transition wasn't very good because, in fact, at some point it was described as a circus. You know, he's pledged his support, and hopefully that will be great. What we don't have to forget is that until 7th January, he is the vice president, so he's still in power, and he still has to do what he has to do. It's not like a candidate who is lost and so goes away. He'll be around for the next few days, or at least for about a month. It's important that they take stock, and he said so. You've run the race, it didn't go well, the defeat has been so massive. There should be something that was wrong. I think he ran a very good campaign. I think he ran an issue-based campaign, but unfortunately the ground was just not good enough for him. A lot of factors, maybe he contributed to some, others were beyond him, did not help him. I mean, a lot of things did not help him. Some were outside of his control. I mean, maybe from his boss and from other people, just didn't help him. Perhaps given another opportunity, he will look at things differently and then know how to drive it. You know, again, his political future is in focus. So it was good that he did the speech in good time so people don't go through some stress. Also, his defeat cements the point that in Ghana, you hardly win it for the first time when you try it. Maybe apart from John Dramani Mahama. But John Mahama, in his case, is slightly different because he was president for some 5-6 months. And so he came in as an incumbent.
Pretty much.
You know, I mean, Rawlings was president from the PNDC era.
I mean, Rawlings' case is different. Rawlings is a different case.
Rawlings is an outlier. Rawlings is an outlier. He was in power and then, you know, attempted a democracy
circumstances
experience.
changed and
so it only cements that point.
Baby obi avan also wa hwe ye pa ne nanan ma hefa mo hwe ye nyina
Busafo Guswa show United Television the sitting time na ye nyina ye nim mponkwa ye bu eko the vice president ono nso ne tu Frankadema New Patriotic Party abede waje enkugu atomo na ye ko afana ni afana mia bebre sabre mensa aka Benjamin ni mate Ben what me ka mema wache
me ju so mi aba.
Hello Ben.
Yeah, me ju so mi aba.
Ben.
Yeah, hello.
You abusuafo egusua epusu Benjamin ahoma no ntime sakana ye betwetwe enkomo ene eyende ewumu se electoral commission emfa the final results my dear. Now so both political parties ni nyina no omoyom coalition it is a wo win a wonim se wo win wo lusi se wo se wo lusi sabre mensa aka Benjamin ni mate Ben what me ka memo wachen yo Ben ehefa na wugina sesi e
okay so say no me gina special divisional headquarters yeye nuwa in the Krowo constituency na eti enra omu fi asese omu bobo abanu se of various polling stations no NDC supporters omu nuwa omu nya enaye omu gina omu ba polling collection center hanuma omu modi ahwese said omu collective bia no mesha said ekoso na sisi enra na omu hu se ade a omu di kind of various polling centers no na ade a omu di enije etimu me efa nuwa bonsiso bebia etibeto me na de omu tina daso tina ho a omu twi momombe ewo nuwa emonsenso
womo ana na chese enije nko aho momombe even though electoral commission and declare because say they will see kase enra nyina o ana no so no na now men can say almost the opposition side no na omo kendini emfa na no December 2 ja na so empono no omo eguso ejubilate
omo nya say omo just so bo abana omo so omo leadina especially no na omo MP honorable Agnes na momo late na omo di na ti ye pa omo didi ye say obetimi edi nkunim na omo hu so wadi nkunim no na ade omo nya di ye pa anu ti omo collection center fiti enra omo kofie ye omo me tuma kofie so tu kofie ba ye na so mo meni gina mu fiti do nyimre no sa na sia honorable Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia edi na no system etu dwa no na kese mo me na ba ye kese pa e je sa utwemu edisi Accra Chelsea Beach Road towards Chamadia udu ho ma na spend like 30 minutes or traffic mo esa say ndi to gina kwamu ye pa na mo twi mo me ba na ya se ma so ka no la so ba hura tra ka no so no ba hura tra ka no so e mu so mo ba na o me ndi sifo mo se ndi sintade o mo twi mo ka no o so ba gina kakra no wa twi solo kakra asoro mo twi mo akọ eti hanu mo de very very interesting pa amafo ni agi ye pa ewo nuwa mo sin so ase
Ben me de ubesi akosofo ani de eche me pa ye besen aba wakache ne abeje de ekoso ewo nungba sabre me saka Jacob Kubi ewo Gomoa East Jacob memo wakwaba
me never me do so
na Gomoa East say
Amino ka say there will be pimo Gomoa is in 15 mountain precisely Butumbruma adise ewa ha say no omweni ati pa ninya ne say omo chrem say be ye enfi bebre ni no Butumbruma ha ana say Gomoa is ha no omo ntumi maintain MP obekọ ni imprenso na omo de honorable Desmond Petu ba ye no ni nduma den a obeyeye wa bra enye na aban na ewo aban mu no emo omudi oseni oyo eto aba edema no se na be ya mpuntuo ebeba okọ ni second time ni mputo beba afensu no omo bomode di oseni oyo eto aba edema former president His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na ombegwa mfimfim mantem na ni titiri kese pa se na omukọ edomu ade we na enyema bo enjina fa ho every kanina ono wo so no na enyema entisa abra yegu yewa ha say ya this year no kasa edite honorable abra wedi enkunim no anche eno munya ni tie say Omampeni abedeti ananka oni former president ejinano afede or the nkunimdie ensem edema NDC amanyoko no meni o ka se de obepiem wa ase a eni je nkoa amanfo omani ja and the omo kan say no more can say omo de asida NDC amanyoko a ewo ntinti mantemu ha say abenso no omo kata de se nyina say that abafo omo to no one time MP no ese so mu dai say na be ya development ebeba Goma East ase enu no na honorable Desmond Petu ka kire mo say honorable Desmond Petu da de se nyina ase a o sa ka kire mo say ese nia ono wa so mo bo say na ban eni abemu na se na ban ba ekasa akwanya ededa mantem a MPP amanyoko no de mo sa kan ya omanye no ono obeya ma omampeni dondoma ni mama ababe afen so no afofra ededa nchen no so no obeba modern say obema omampeni aye na mpuntuo aba mfimfi mantem a.
Okay, yo, Mamenfa Jacob, we see her say na sabre, Mimbo Shana, Menkopia Moasa, something Kenya.
Yo, Yamakwaba,
Ochonfuni Ede, Amaye, Samson Mewakwaba.
And this is for the Biana, where they was said, it is possible, Dr. Baumia. Abe, that's not how they were in this attack. Debbie, very possible, very possible, some Mama. It is possible, Debbie, no one. So, I did also. It is possible for Mama to come. And Mama has come.
Mama has come.
I see.
She's leading Ghana. Oh. Mama will lead Ghana. It is possible. Mama has already come. It is possible.
It is possible. It is possible. And what I didn't mean.
Exactly.
In Ashanti region, the whole Ghana, they stopped the 8 by. They said they are going to break the 8, and then we said that we are going to stop the 8. We brought to stop the 8 in the whole Ghana, and then I know this Kabai. Yes, you did. Yes, can we? 1,000 Ghana. 1,000 Ghana for 4 years. 1,000 Ghana for 4 years. 1,000 Ghana for 4 years. 1,000 Ghana for yes, sir. Yeah, also I say. I'm here to work. Also, NDC. Papa. Who has constituency pa? So what's it pa? So far, oh yeah. Oh yeah, pa. Yeah. Member of Parliament is what we do. Oh yeah, we need to pray. Yeah, we need to pray. If we say I don't know, Oma fan say ntimi. And I say chiro mu say yeah na wa so wasi. And NDC aban say yeah dia. Okay, you know I'm going to come and say, you are talking about YouTube. What do you do? Yes, Papa. Who was to answer? I was to answer. Yeah, now. Did you make all say? Yeah, Radha, my Akuma, so I did. Now, you must some way. You wanted here because I was a crowd and a piano. What's that? Yeah, what did you say? Hey, Papa. Would your eyes are Bruno? And let me see you, Mr. Papa. Let's say. You are winning hands down to say this election. You are going to run this election. It's not the NDC against MPP. It's Ghana against MPP. I'm a Bonia. you know. Now what did you be somebody?
What did you pa? What did you see at the win? As was the anticipant, as was the anticipation. Where the was the baby. Intimania Wajus as was the watching. As was the NDC seat forever and ever.
And I win it. President Siaka.
And our parliamentary news to account.
Try one way and this is going to be and come up. When you have the bar, can you be fair?
Fantastic victory. Gargantuan victory. Yahubida. Over 1.5 billion votes. Yahubida. Ghana. From 1996 up to now. Everyone but that. When I first time, we had done Yabasi.
NDC supporters, I'm a Piamano, Omoniaji Yepa, a bit of the game. I am person of Mucho and Cobo, Omoniaji, I am person of now, you say about to a Mubenya victory, say, so to abani bi there. So consistency.
Asawasi.
Yeah, na woka.
Oh, mini bibia ka. I'm very very happy today. Energy. To bless you. Yedi na besa. Yedi na besa.
Okay, abusia for ye free asawasi na yakọ akwatia. Kwabena ofori nsɛmtwoni ɛwɔ ahoma no so yenya nte yɛsɛ electoral officers ni bi there has been an illegalities bi ɛwɔ hɔ no nti yɛkɔ ne agyinkyem kwabena wote me ka me wakɔ aba
amina aba me jo
na de yɛtete wɔ mframam ɛfa electoral officers ni bi ho no nokresa wɔ akwatia
yo ahomate mu wɔ no mo na electoral officer baako ɔyɛ bɛma yenya ne din no na ɔmutwe mu a na okita pinchika yen chocho so yenye asubhi etina NDC for no supporters no say ono na akofa pinchik foforo ebia banka oba be chocho number foforo another result foforo de aguso na tete de aba be sisa omo activation no enu ntia ni omo che na omo de ne ema police from so de ne call omakachi a omo edena kotena ho ehwe se de be ya emra elitini aye adwuma eti sana etie ewo eho no
na ono as an electoral officer no esese otumi enya pink sheet ekita no anase at this time ne de ese pink sheet ni nyina ekọ electoral commission for home office enum enchemu te sen.
Okay, so see ano omuna enre ni mo to abani yi na omoba collection center ewo akwatia UCD camp eho no mo collect bibia enti eho na oba ya o pie okodon so oba ya na obese inside boko eno na obi so enya.
We all deserve something special. Merry Spritzmas.
Every Tuesday, we just eat at Gianni's because you've got to support local.
Because Tuesday is your turn to...
please for no say as to say now on one kita keke anase enkan anase yade no di boni bi ampa no nyenyen nti ntimi confirm at the crop potting a lekita na odede.
Okay, yo kwabena said you see eka no ne na ye bema wo de wani edi eche ni ahwe say indeed kitana no ebia mfonso eno ebe be she ni botom oni adwumboni bia teche bia me gidi say aposifo wache ni di ombeboa enwo hwehwe mu nso ede afa ho ntifo ni di eche ni obesi bia no amaye so ate why
matini ni abana me no ka say yankasa no oba akwatia tension na ewo ho no enye se diabro enya abo ahogro so kra isanse NDC for no say EC declare or parliamentary candidate ono asaya akwati amrati bigenia lidina ye Henry Boati Adom Dodona Pen Okuyu NDC supporters next ma mahama na afa anate we timi wini wa anti automatically no omo ewini parliamentary EC no so kase enyesa anate ono so defeat a different one na bana that's no pay ni no kase nyaade so wo timi declare we na ewini anate we na ewini ye wodem wonom ene soldiers free guo o kan a ube ebebro be 50 omodo so pa bi so kragu abontin ye ho ena EC no sorry penka o keka no na kwa be ye declaration so NDC for no MP4 no the party executives wa kwatia no ebo princess the way attention ewo high ewo mbebunu no outcome kitchen omo to abo na almost segregated wo collection center room na na collection room wo no omo asese ni menyina no se onim na o declare ansha na di yone bi aba that the mbebunu no bu afo a omo se mo mpese o mbete hwie apart from say this ne be ka se omo a parliamentary candidate na na we win emi ti so ni na so wo ya o declare ebe entokwa anase ahekra na obi ho aka ndo mo de na nkomo osre MPP mpenifonso a ewo ho no so treseda omo nti ase omo so share peteta krema na so mo share omo figures omo kitano omo so hunu se omo a candidate NS ya okumi a ojina ma akwatia MPP dimu na ewini so mo so insist say if you know declare na detention pa na aba ho no mo atese enya se dia grokra ye mu bi mpu no anase yan sentrofo no ya kope beebi a ye kobo ye mu eja sanse die kofu akwatia sisi am no katan ye fo ni behwe enya ho so kra.
Okay, kwabana ye da sese wo me ye hu de ekoso ba ye besre wo so se hwe wo hu ye efama ye na de bekoso bi asoso mesron fan kame ye no ama ya so ate why me da se ebushafo eye kwabana ofori ene de ama ne boy free akwatia ebre sabre ye ko Seth mante honom owo eye ewutu senya west Seth what me kan me watching
ma me joso
na ewutu senya west what to say
yo mama kani na mbom ni na se ewutu senya west bafem na me no ka say your results are electoral commission on Timifa and so there's some stuff for near Mount Quenim but make me say and then Centenia to Sakakra and we would say West. But then you have Bomo say the Utu say West and to be who I was called 2 times. I'm an enemy and also was called twice. Baba twice yes that with the and me and Kuye honorable Jojanda Obaye obetu Hanatete editu so no betra ase ono so baye no Gisela Tete ono so baye ebetu no na ye hu an se obi fofo so eyi nanima ba aye Eugene Ahen office of the president ono so baye be we de Eugene Ahen ntimi amfa okay ntimi anya nkwan wetmentu Gisela Tete Gisela me no ka se de wetia ka se Gisela Tete wasan aka na to na ewo eye wutu seja west na tama ni nyina ba wie no so ene commission pa ma ye de be so tia kesi na to ti se Gisela Tete o menteni the seat and say or twaso obey MP wa wutu seja west me no ka say enche bia best ma be ediafani ena yete se eye omamtania be de kire ana MPP candidate now say wadene num kasa to just abanu wadia tum time amanfo tie radio television UTV ewie ye no na just say efedede bo amanfo bo e wa wutu seja west na just say omo papa ba and on my men so asamba and deny on the pie. And to be sure, DJ and Uncle Khan. I was to say, I was proper. Yes, I'm a president and I'm waiting so I call my fan. And they said, the mammy or dende, papa dende, yes, a boom, I abako, and tell you, pass. The best say, Yana Mafoni be Becasa, never saw me say, almost MP, and MP Mini, and one more a papa Swing, Papa Yabao, a matter the value ticket. Me pa cho se fi o papa ana mo ma me na be ana ni je mo ke ka te sen eni je de mo bikin ra e kita na ya ti ko je pe se ai obi u ya ngimi ya ntu aba ma obi ya ni mu no me ya mp wa ya se man e obi ya ni mu na ya ko ni ti e be ma ko na ya ko kai a chira no ndi na ya tu aba na sa na se fi ya bai wo so ni obi a woni mu na woni mu no yu ye ni mu wa obi evangelist Tende tende okona olusi na wabado yasanyeni onyasanyeni yenni muno wasanya yenni muno bizila na yenni muno awutusanya weta and say and je na mani je say na yenni je ndi bebe ya pesa o declare what better o get outside there say ja uma down bina bi yenni je na bi ebro so se ya o ba sha yi si office ya wa awutu be ko omani aje as a president ya no de ebe o mo pese yi si ema omo MP in South Society, I don't know MP who to say, where they do Beka, and Mabuno, and NDC form, or we have a board of the Mohat, and any general I was so far. Now, the Jenny Park, what to see a throw a partner for, and yes, and come up. I told to say, a base to I'm maintaining an NPP candidate. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, Pakatari, and the Omania, then started the couple day, the Mammy Dindi, that's Omajatu. I say, Babamusa, when you get to say, I need also by and then Usha, Mahoka can't say, because Usha, the pressure, money say. The new son of a describer, but to do the youth in Dominique. They really wanted this food, they really need it. In the realm to know somebody I was the green, and I was zero. Yeah, it's a Utusanya, I green. There's a Omaniache, Omakuma da form. To my man, so because a better one, I acquire Barbetum Nano, a Utusanya West. Presidential and so if you watch them, yes, them was a parliamentary so and so but Omankasa ayo collection will say Abane de Exala Teti, Omuchate, Onyamu, Mami or Dende, Papo, Dende, Mami or Dende, Papo, Dende, and airport. And to say, you young sunboard SCR, also so Abu Bum, as some of us say, you young, the sunboard they see, of course, one not taking almost a channel. And I'm for Pagata Momo Yasa, Omunjai, Omunjai. I'm Penifana for support. It's any jelly there. I brought so you become the wife near Budumra, also say, and any jelly son of Musuno. I was saying, I was in here.
Okay. You said, sorry, Seth, that's a part. Odu Bujumbura mana wama yehu de ekoso so sabre ye call Michael Akrufi hodom okoforidia Michael to me come bo akwa
Gani amini aba
na koforidia etese
Koforidia boko fi anopa brema besini ebra Ghana man penya be kire His Excellency Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia eba bontin abekasa na wajia ti se abato ye of Wadi ncho enunti omampeni dada John Dramani Mahama na edin kulimno anam so ema NDC chaforo atom hoku montenso ebikra sebio omo etwa hu omo se omo amenyoko anabi mu no nyina ne so better flag NDC flag no akesi kwanso na se omo hihim mafa Kofodia montenso New Durban South after New Durban North New Durban North no ASC Kofodia normal technical at the first Jasia to see Apredum barrier and as Apredum bridge so we go Apredum the DPR before Panos no I just say who say what say of Anthony Abedi say Akata Japi Mr. Wadincho and no more than one the boom on things not just all yeti now moto the name now winning name my name was Sabram no Case Medu to whom ask whom to any no Manchester Naka ever mountains on the and this is it out for ever the job and you a lot of contracts ampa about to a course we a idea NDC and Edin Kulim. Nano and I mean if you move Edin Kitan to say at almost 10 of two yes as I say you come a Jan me you always have to between Kulimsi almost in Kulima no na and yes we said from Kwan almost share them at the brand now Masano and no money now for Abama NDC Edin Kulima Obeto Hobu Mountain so at your money. It's no Cafe a few months a boko if you get to so a quality a result may water the space a conference no not yet who send about on the students and from a course so then we see a man mountain declare you know now about penny abe they say abeka say why just to say we didn't show it there a more kind a more money almost money and none of it
yo okay Seth you best about home abusia for sabre yakwakopi mu e wo sofo uzube mpana sorry yenya nti yese yes ami jemfi yakwakopi mu home ma wo kasenti yenko ye best ambasisia
Muhume waha enye bone say yenyina yenim ade stronko a onyankopon wayama NDC amanyuko. Praise the Lord. Yenyina yenim ade kesia onyankopon wayama Ghana na se uyo nipa na onyame ushirawa na wofo onyame ase de dia na chese woye onipa boni ayefo eno nti enkunimdie ne baaye no e wose ye dia ase da manyame na ye dia ase da manyame a Mesa meja mfidie inimza aseda ye de manyame da fe ne afiti ase but me kan wo makuma mu se baby e wo se ye fiti aseda na se the great prophet Praise the Lord. The great prophet Onyankopon Edena Chagana. Papa Apostle Owusubempa. Sebi Onyame ayama NDC ne Ghana. Ni onyame ayama ya Papa John Dramani Mahama no onam ne nkoa ne mfena na difo na sofo pi so mpai bo wona futuo won konhye ena ode aye de ode ayama ye no nemom me de yanto abo ne adwuma ye nyina me obi ambidi mu akotini ye no honamani ene de ye ne sunsumu na metimi akase ye pe onyame adifo onyame asofo a omode omohobo afore na omudfa ekun yi se omokun na omuyi omakuma mudi akoma pata ye tia ye Papa great prophet Owusubempa Oye kokromo ayensa ne homopo na mfiafo minya akwanya ehia ye Papa enyenne bi bedwen se nanse ai na mihia ye Papa Sase ko ya papa na se ko je mpaibo akwankyere ne afutuo no papa betumi aga se bia ebura emfie mienu kra yesate ya che na ade ameka akere mo ne se onyame asafu yi onyame wo hia mo pa because onyame wo na somfo bebre but the ordinary asafu yi no odamufua na the entire maker sani ehia onyame asofo bebre o maboa yen abompa ya mayen but ya papai ade ba ko e wo no ho a me free say wo tan no cry wo say wo ka ipa bebre nim but ade ba ko a e wo no ho me nka nkyere no ba me ka ne ha a me dwen wo a me ntia se ne say onyame ama no ahobrase a ebro adwen ne ntia se so because o hwe baby onyame apagya no wo honhom mu ene adoma kyede e wo no so ni nnwuma onyame de na ye na hwe wo na mumpo obra wa bɔ ne de owo na ye nkran ketewa yukra no papa e kasa wo ho a ahobrase a wo no be kasa ofre phone so wo kon ho a lot of people don't know that side of him. And sadie no yade a me atache makoma pa eno ntina me se onyame wo hira mo na ho brase mu so ade ba akoso a ma won so ne se ade a wo ka bia me de minim obi experience but me de me ne san ye de ade bia waka kire me ana waka afa de minim hu bia ye no kure trudo onka utimi use onka mfa ba akokora se nyeden enka praise the Lord na ade ameka atwa to nsem ne de mese meka ye nwie ne ba de meka atwa to ne se wo se wo ya ade a ode na koma ni nipadua nyina na ye so se onya nya ade obeye because anajo anopa awia ofre papa onsa beka no when san can no be return no call now ofre yen na o kire ye de enye ohumu onamu Mr. Mumu nyina mo menka me ho ne enka che papa so onyame hira no enti papa we dia amobrase mu me ba unannounced NDC amanyoku nyina ye besa so ababiem we dia eyamia me sabi jefi wo ba prekope me ana maba se afi na nkunimdie no e ba ye ni 30 minutes 1 hour kra enti ye ba ha na ya bede onyame ase na ya da wo so wase na bre sem no o ma ye kwan a amanyoku ni nyina ye beba de se asore no mo baji ye omunyi yo ye nyina ya ba eti ye nyina ye beba na ye maba akopeso ye beba aba na ye nyina ye bompaya ye mompaya ma ye papai so onyame be ma no kwatenten ne ahoden na onyame be koso ayusu na magana we mu ne adifu a Ghana here and ye do onyame asese ma say papa nyame shaw ye das
debi hallelujah. Oh, Bonsama Sami Jevi. Wow. Oh, church, I thought to give the Lord a clap offering, a better one. Sorry, John Naso. Na yedede. Yes. Wow. And Owusu Bempa, the great Owusu Bempa.
Oh, he is here in our midst. Oh, I said he is here in our midst. Oh, hallelujah. My God, my Father. Wow. 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 Me pesa o show you and naka chane say wow.
I'm the diehard NDP supporter. NDP is my blood, it's my everything.
What are the things you think John Dramani Mahama will do when he comes now that he's won the election?
Initially, John Dramani has made a lot of promises, which to me, I know Dramani is a fulfiller. It's a promiser. Whatever he has promised, he will deliver it. Sounds right.
Why do you think that the NPP was kicked out?
Come again.
Why do you think that a New Patriotic Party was kicked out?
Because of the inability to fulfill their promises.
Your name?
I'm Abubakar Sadiq.
Thank you. Let me speak to this lady here who is very excited. Why are you excited? Excitement here by supporters of the National Democratic Congress right after the Vice President and flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party conceded defeat in the 2024 election. Let me speak to you. It looks like we are very excited. Why are we so excited? Because the difficulty that we passed through, it was not easy for us. And today we're able to get the victory. We are happy. We are happy and happy and happy. He's going to send us higher, higher, higher and higher. Thank you very much. So let me also speak to you. You are raising the flag of Ghana.
Of course, it's Ghana that won. It's Ghana that won. And we thank God for the peaceful election. And then we hope that Mahama will do the good thing, will do the right thing. He has done it before, and we know he can do it. We believe in him. 4 years, compared to these people, 8 years, you could see the difference. There is a man of vision, and we trust him for that. But he should be able to prosecute these people. That is what I want.
Now, about to say, I'm enemy a year Basa.
National Cathedral.
That would be
able to do something about it.
On my announcement, 56% in Mayanko. John Dramani Mahama, President-elect, 2024. Welcome, Mr. President.
And congratulations to His Excellency, the former President.
And this is one of the best Christmas for us. We thank Almighty God for this victory. Thank you very much. Thank you. I engage a lot more of the individuals here.
Contest elections. All the way now, you're number one.
Yes.
Ghana has a man penibia wako. Now,
and he's a strong man.
Oh,
a very strong.
Or the Adama, Adada, yo, Adama.
Ofanade.
Adada, yo.
So electoral commission, the figures you have. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Kasa also result to Krompebium. Wari. Mumra.
This is the atmosphere here, right in front of the National Democratic Congress.
Yes, I'm here because I'm very excited. I'm very excited. And what Mahmoud Bawumia did, my dear. Yes, I'm very excited for John Dramani Mahama because for good 8 years, Master, we have suffered. How can you buy cake at 10 cedi? How can you buy cake at 10 cedi? You can't buy cake at 10 cedi. It doesn't make sense. And the media, they don't think of us. And the people, they don't think of us. And what I will tell John Mama that John Mama should fulfill his promises. You see how they are starting.
Right, this is the Election Bureau, so we are picking information that there is an unfortunate situation happening at the Dom Kwabenya constituency. Ajubi Riafe is a lady on the grounds. We go over to her. Thank you very much, Ajubi. Now, if you can hear me loud and clear, what exactly is happening at Dom Kwabenya?
Hello, I can hear you.
Right, so tell us what is happening at Dom Kwabenya and why the police is calling for military reinforcement.
Currently, at Dom Kwabenya, as you can see, they have called the NDC election guided and they are complaining bitterly because they noticed that a black card, which we do not know at the moment, who owns this particular car.
Ajubi, we can hardly hear you. Can you reposition yourself a bit away from the noise?
Hello, Grandma, can you hear me?
Yes, please go on.
Yes, so as I was saying, there is promotion here at the Dom Kwabenya polling station, and this is largely because NDC sympathizers who were gathered here at the collation center to do the observation noted that a car, we understand that it's a black car, we do not know who owns this car in particular, but the car was on the premises and they noticed or were alleging that the car was containing some ballots. Now these ballots did not have any stamp of them, meaning that they are invalid. But for some of the ballots that I have seen as well, they also didn't have any thumbprints indicating that they were bringing these ballot papers to sort of put it inside or add it to the numbers of a particular party. But when these party sympathizers from the NDC noted this.
Imagine entering your name and all of a sudden all of your car finance agreements that you had before 2021 just appeared on screen. And
the collection job currently. The security personnel here are trying to manage, but it looks like the situation is still going out of control. You can hear the noise outside, and they are still trying to force their way in through the upper part of the building, where the collection is going on earlier. during dawn around 3 a.m. There was some commotion, and after the entire collation process had to be taken outside and brought inside. But Mr. Patalis are still very adamant to enter the premises and see what is going on. Security personnel are on ground. We are trying to control the entire situation. And I understand that they're also calling for reinforcements from the military to handle the entire situation.
Now, Ajobi, let's understand the situation properly. So, a black vehicle came in with ballot papers in a box.
President
Is that correct?
Did not listen to remove Ken Ofori-Atta because those were the voices of the people, and they refused to listen. And that's what is going to be difficult for them. I would like to say finally that the jubilation, the NDC guys were jubilating on the street, and the commentary or everything we are hearing, they should do what reflects the natural disposition of John Mahama. His natural disposition, as we know, is that he's not someone who is giving to acts of violence. He's not giving to language vitriol. So they should conduct themselves in a manner that reflects his natural disposition.
And Raymond, what does this mean for Akufo-Addo's legacy?
No, I thought you were going to ask me the Bamia question.
No.
Let me stay on
We
it.
just have a couple of minutes. What does it mean for Akufo-Addo's legacy?
See, it's been shattered, it's been battered, and it's suffered a massive damage. In the last few weeks, all of the commissioning, all of the purported good things that were being put out there, many had warned. Let's not forget, Akufo-Addo had done some good things like free SHS. But it was also under Akufo-Addo that we had this debt exchange. Some wished it away. People talked about impunity. Some wished it away. People talk about growing corruption. And the worst part of it, it appeared to have had presidential endorsement. They wished it away. Basically, Ghanaians were made to feel in this republic under Akufo-Addo that you were basically third-class citizens and the only people that mattered were the few. Perhaps Bawumia can dissociate himself from this now fully and stand out and now project himself in a different corner. That was always going to be difficult. Of course, and NPP succeeded in making one policy from 2008 straight down to implementation year 2016, and fast forward to 2024, we're still talking about the free senior high school program. That is a good Akufo-Addo legacy. But there are so many blots and negatives that the party should reconnect, restructure. And this is a party that's actually for the businessman. Businesses suffered massively under Akufo-Addo. And yet all of this were wished and thrown under the carpet as if nothing had happened. It reached a point in this republic when you talked about it, you were made to be or think that you didn't know what you were talking about and that there's a lot more goodness happening under him. Maybe this is a reflection time. I know there's going to be a lot of talk around this and all of that. No leader gets 100%. But the expectation is that the MPP will reflect more about that tenure that Akufo-Addo led and perhaps correct some of the things that should never be taken into the future.
And we're going to take a quick changeover. We're going to make a quick changeover now here on your election headquarters. Rolling coverage continues. Mama V will take over with MFR Pau. And of course, at Studio 997, Kojo Yankson is standing by with our team of experts who will be weighing in. And this is an all-round analysis and reaction to what is unfolding right now, this historic outcome. We have the Vice President, who is the flag bearer of the governing party, conceding defeat and makes John Dramani Mahama the president-elect. Never happened before this quickly. Within 24 hours of the election, we have a concession delivered there. Kojo Yankson, I'm going to come to you now, and let's hear your guess. And the next time you come back here, you have the two ladies taking over. And we'll be joined by a whole host of other analysts who will be helping us pore over what has happened, making sense of it. This smart wall will still be filling up. And my colleague will join us, Kofi Eje will join the ladies with MFR Pau to go through for you, because there are some very interesting parliamentary stories still to come. And some of them we need to make sense of We'll do that for you here on your Smart Rock. Kojo, I know yourself and your team dying to have a bite at what is unfolding, and we possibly will take the next decade still trying to understand and write about what has happened tonight. This is your opportunity to start telling that story.
Evans, I've got to say that you couldn't have summed it up better. Quite literally, earth-shattering revelations as Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia concedes defeat within 15 and a half hours of the closing of polls. I mean, talk about records. Of course, my panelists and I have been talking about this in the background while all the numbers and reports have been coming in from across the country. But let's just focus for a moment on the historic weight of what we have just seen and heard. The incumbent, without the EC even announcing one constituency's results, has conceded defeat. Let's be fair. The Electoral Commission has suddenly become a lot less relevant than we've been used to, haven't they, Prof?
You've said it right. In fact, this event, this 2024 election, has made so many histories, so to speak. Many of them. Okay. And like you said, the concession, that speech that Dr. Bawumia gave in itself was very significant because he took time to really relate his deep sentiments.
Prof, forgive me, it seems your microphone is malfunctioning. We're going to get someone to come in and fix that for you. But while we're doing that, Clara, I mean, I know you have thoughts on the same issue. What do you think this actually means for the value that we've been placing on the Electoral Commission, the attention we've been putting on the referee in our elections?
Let me start by saying, like Prof was saying, this is historic, not just that he conceded defeat within 24 hours, but the fact that there's not a single certified, nothing from the Electoral Commission, yet he came out to concede defeat. It's one of my proudest moments as a Ghanaian because of the value of this to reducing tensions, to reducing anxieties that could have escalated with the time that is going on. I don't know with respect to the Electoral Commission. Now I'm not even sure he's waiting on the Electoral Commission. I don't know. It's difficult to even put. It's mixed feelings as to what this means for the Electoral Commission, but it also the good point of it for me, or the highlight point for it for me, is the maturity displayed by the politicians involved. That shows that at least the parties themselves, of course, in this day and age, I mean, they are all able to collate their results. They have a fair idea what's going on, and that they would come out even without waiting for the Electoral Commission to make sure that, I mean, tensions are lowered, anxieties are gone, and this for me, it's one of my proudest moments that I'm still struggling to find the right words to put for it.
Less than half an hour before the Vice President conceded defeat, the NDC held a presser. Sammy Gyamfi addressed it. Thoughts?
To be honest with you, before the presser, I heard that we were aware that the Vice President was going to give a press conference. When the presser started, I kind of understood where the NDC was coming from because, of course, there are results that, I mean, voting has ended in polling stations. A lot pink sheets are everywhere. We haven't heard any. The Electoral Commission had created a certain vacuum that people were beginning to sit on tenterhooks. So I could understand why they came in. Just that towards the end, so I didn't have a problem with his initial press conference, but towards the end, I expected that he would have been a lot more magnanimous.
When it's the season finale, we just eat Five Guys.
Yes!
Oh, don't you worry. I'll get it, girls.
Howie, am I move?
Sorry. Am I in the way?
Childish.
Sorry.
Childish.
For nights in and everything else.
Did somebody say justice?
Blockbuster drama streaming this winter.
Lie to everyone. Risk your life. No glamour. No exploding watch. The CIA sends us out into the world to behave in entirely unhealthy, dangerous ways.
Whatever it takes. Make it invisible. Nothing is personal.
A brand new series, The Agency. Stream now, only on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. Now, while we're waiting for Prof's microphone to be fixed, let's now look at what this means for the future. President Akufo-Addo's term ends with what is starting to look like the worst defeat of any political party in Ghana's Fourth Republic. The worst. It also curtails, or in fact, before it even begins, puts a halt to the hopes of Dr. Bawumia of becoming the next president. What does the NPP's future in opposition look like to you?
For me, it's early days yet. It would depend to a very large extent also on the numbers that they would have in Parliament. And so far, it doesn't look like they are going to have very large numbers in Parliament. I think the MPP probably just has to go back and then sit down and reflect. And then, of course, they would find out where they went wrong, what went wrong, and then regroup. But I don't see that the MPP is going to be silent in opposition. We've seen the MPP in opposition before, since '92, when they didn't even have representation in Parliament. We've seen them when they've had very little representation in Parliament, including just a lone voice. And they were an effective opposition throughout. So in spite of the laws, I expect that the NPP is still going to be a very vibrant opposition. I expect that they would do what they need to do in opposition. So I don't think this is going to affect too much the nature of opposition that they are going to be. Just that in terms of their own internal party politics, there would be a struggle. I'm sure that, of course, other people have ambitions, and then we would see how it goes forward. But I don't see that this is going to make the MPP any less stronger than it has been.
Right, Prof. Bafo-Agyeman-Duah, thank you, yes, for your patience. It looks like we had to swap out some batteries there, but we're glad to have you back. So, look, the question is about the EC. That's what you were dealing with before you had to take a step away. So let's take it back from there. At this point, what's the relevance of the EC? Will anyone turn up to their press conference to find out who they say won?
Actually, if it wasn't for the law that requires the EC to formally pronounce who is the winner and get it gazetted, its relevance would have been ended at this point, because the game is over. Concession speech has been given. Congratulations have been given to the winner. But for our system, the EC still, they have to do a formal pronouncement and then gazette it for it to be formally acceptable into our law books. But I think going forward, it provides some very interesting insights. At most 2 a.m. this morning, all the principals knew where this election was going. And so they made their decisions. Actually, by 4 a.m., I received a note that the game was over for Bawumia. They knew that. So in that respect, this idea of EC, waiting for EC to make pronouncements, is becoming a little bit irrelevant. Yeah, so you may have to find... in this republic, unless something happens in the future to really take this off, it's going to be a legacy of a very bad defeat, leading the party 8 years and leading the party into such a disaster. Of course, when it comes to that, a lot of people may even forget the good things he did in terms of the infrastructure and other things he's done. People may not remember that, but I think this defeat is very decisive. But let me finally say that we should congratulate re-elected President Mahama and his party for a good job. And also, the speech given by Bawumia was quite laudable, and I think we should appreciate that. As for the EC, we are waiting for his formal remarks.
Indeed, that's a perfect way of summing things up. I want to say a big thank you to Professor Bafo Ajimandia and, of course, Clara Berry Kasati for your enlightening, sparkling conversation. We appreciate you every time you're here. And we appreciate you for staying with us for several hours this morning as history was made right here on your election headquarters. But we're nowhere near done. We're going now to the stronghold, the epicenter of the NPP, which is the Asante region, where Studio 995 has been piping hot news all the way through our coverage of this election. And of course, David and the team are standing by with reactions to what is a historic concession of defeat, literally in less than 16 hours from the closing of polls. David, how is Kumasi waking up to this breaking news?
Well, Kumasi is waking up to this breaking news with a bit of surprise, because we were here up till 3 a.m. last night. Kumasi was a bit buzzing with some energy. And then a few hours, after the vice president and the presidential candidate for the NPP considered defeat, the whole city has gone quiet. The streets are almost empty. There are no people around, only for a few motorbikes that were tooting their horns a while ago in celebration of the victory for the NDC. So that's how Kumasi has been like. At this point in time, I'd like to introduce my co-anchor who has been with me for the past few days. Eugene Osetutu is right here with me, and he is with the Smart War, and he'll be sharing a few figures with us as to what is panning out as the results trickle in from the EC. Also to help us with some analysis this morning, we have Dr. Amakye Boateng. He has been with us since Friday evening. He's with the History and Political Studies Department here at University. We also have Dr. Ali Nyaba, who is also with the same department. He's been with us as well since we began this on election eve. Gentlemen, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dave.
Let me start off with you, Dr. Amakye. We woke up this morning hearing that there was going to be a press briefing from the vice president, the presidential candidate for the MPP. It did happen, and he's considered defeat. How did it come to you?
David, actually, a little bit of a surprise. We couldn't take our eyes off the screens. We went home late last night and yet we're glued to the television.
We went home this morning.
Okay, yeah, early this morning. Look at me. We're glued to the television, and the information, were trickling in. It was not really significant until the NDC came out with their own data, what they have put together out of the pink sheet. And so one could say that the information they gave us was authoritative. And then they called on Dr. Bawumia to concede defeat. We got to acknowledge that. Then this is, communication boss, lawyer Sami Jemfi, yes. He did make an explicit call on Dr. Bawumia to concede. From that time on, Dr. Bawumia had no option. That is, provided the information that the NDC put out was accurate and authoritative. And indeed it was. So Dr. Bawumia in the first place had no alternative. He was pushed to react to that, especially given the fact that
For some reasons, the EC is taking a lot of time to deliver. It's taking a lot of time to deliver. We got to somehow appreciate some of the challenges that the EC has been facing. But that notwithstanding, the EC is taking so much time. The tension had to be brought down. Life had to be saved. And so Dr. Bawumia simply couldn't help but, come out and concede. I was sort of slightly taken aback because politics in Africa generally, has its own challenges. And people that lose, even when they know it was free and fair elections that delivered their fate, they have difficulties in...
No, what Elijah is saying, it can never come to pass. So we are prophets.
It adds legitimacy to the outcome, to the overall outcome of the elections. And so, yes, it did come as a little bit of a surprise, but it was very good on the part of Dr. Bawumia that he conceded.
Dr. Lee Nyaba, I mean, early hours this morning when we spoke to
did the EC a very good face saving, and then he did all Ghanaians a very good thing by reducing anxiety, and he did all Ghanaians a very good thing by ensuring that the anxiety did not lead to more chaos than we've had before. But I must say that
Hi Alexa, you've just received a mango box. Who could forget? Question 1. I think that it is an outdated notion. I think we should have done this as like a cabaret. Wish I could click my heels, but I can't. I literally don't know. With that, I would like to invite you on a day with me as we traverse the streets of London. Come.
So, it was coming, but how it will come. And it goes to confirm the fact that if the EC was going to be proactive by learning from the past, how are the political parties able to get this far in a very short time? I'm not in any way trying to compare the processes that characterize the two different groups, like how the political parties will come out with a final figure. It's not the same process as the EC. But at least if it's even taking a little longer, it should not go beyond 12 hours. Because by 8 p.m., 9 p.m., the two major political parties knew their fate. So, granted, if this is extended by some 7-10 hours after NDC and MPP doing their work and getting to know figures for both parliamentary and then EC should have been able to give us not less than 80 to 90% of the results before daybreak, but they are not able. So it's two things. The first thing is that I am happy about the turn of events, the Bawumia concession, and I think it's a feather in his own cap, and I am also happy that maybe the EC will take a clue from this, save us further embarrassment and anxiety in the future, and learn different strategies of delivering the results to Ghanaians at a good time than they have done in the past. It looks like this year would have been worse. We would have been running into maybe Wednesday or Thursday if we were waiting for the EC to declare these elections at the pace that they were doing it.
What does that make of the EC right now? Because normally, if, let's say, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had not conceded, many of us would still be waiting for the EC to be churning out the results, and we've been doing some analysis and all that. And then we'll be also looking forward to their periodic, addresses and all that. Now, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has, considered defeat. What does that make of the EC's work, going forward now?
Yeah, I think we have heard enough about how they have proven not to be too efficient from the voter register up to this point, and I feel maybe it's about time we should not belabor that point, but rather look into the future, strategize as a country. That we know the EC belongs to Ghana. It is Ghanaians who put up an institution to ensure that we deliver a credible election that will not lead to chaos in the country. So we can plan, re-strategize, and then make sure that the EC works more efficiently than they have done, particularly in this past few years.
All right, Doc, I'll come back to you for a response on that. But let's go to Maxwell Agbagba, who is currently at the residence of the president-elect, John Dramani Mahama. So, Maxwell Agbagba, if you can hear me, tell us what is happening at the residence of the former president and, of course, the president-elect.
Yeah, David, so we're coming to you live from the office of the president-elect, John Dramani Mahama, and a steady stream of supporters have started arriving here since we arrived here about an hour ago, many of them waving the NDC flag, some of them entering this premises, interacting with the people who are gathered here. But information we are picking from a deep throat source is that the president-elect John Mahama is in church. We don't know if he's left church at this point, but we're told that when the NPP presidential candidate called him, he was at church when that call came through. That's information that we have from a deep throat source. But here, a steady stream, like I mentioned, of supporters are arriving here. We've seen some of them on motorbikes, many of them excited about what has happened, some of them carrying miniature elephants. So you can see some of them also standing under this big umbrella here. But this track right here gives you an indication of what is going to happen here later today. So this vehicle pulled up here about 5 minutes ago, and I interacted with the driver, and he said that what you're bringing here to the office of the president-elect is a setup for a stage. And so that is what is in this track. And in no time, they'll be opening the gate for them to get access to the office. A lot of the people here are excited about the news, especially about the NPP presidential candidate calling John Mahama to concede defeat. Let's speak to some of them who are standing under this giant umbrella here. Hello, sir. What's your name?
My name is Sena.
Sena, tell me, what's the mood like for you?
It's a beautiful day. It's a great day. Very, very happy. Today, at least, we have a new president-elect, and so it's a beautiful day for everyone. I mean, you can see the mood. Everybody is happy, but most importantly, we are.
It's possible. Yeah, man, you know. It is possible. Look here. Look here. Let me tell you something. In Ghana, when we talk about John Mahama, no size. He has made it already, and nobody take it from me, right? It is possible, Mama. It is possible. It is possible. Forever. What can make now? To continue.
That's been the mood here. Yeah. You're making a point.
Yeah, I was making a point that I think most importantly, we've had a very peaceful election. Dr. Bawumia has considered defeat. So that's it for us. We are very happy. Everybody is happy. And if you look around, everybody is very, very peaceful. Everybody is very, very calm. So that's the feeling we're having today. Yeah.
We're still waiting for the official results to know the full scale of the victory that you are celebrating. But already your national communications officer has given an indication of the number of seats that the NDC is likely to win after the declaration of the official results by the electoral commissioner. Did you expect that win? Did you expect it to be that big?
The results of the election is was just because of how the people felt. Look, we've been talking about this economy, the economy. People have been
But I'm saying that, look, if you have lost, you have lost.
Yeah.
As a gentleman, Dr. Bawumia showed that he's a true gentleman. He came out with all his grace and in all his glory in his white and read a carefully worded statement telling the Ghanaian community and international community what should happen from here. So the good people of the NPP, and in fact the NDC, should take a cue and let's follow in that order. There is no need for fights. You lose today, there's an opportunity to win tomorrow. You win today, it is an opportunity for you to lead in a way as to serve the full interest of the good people of Ghana. But fighting it out, destroying ballot boxes, and also destroying electoral materials, completely unacceptable. And where the people doing these things are found, and indeed they must be found, they must be prosecuted to the letter to send a signal to them that the materials you have destroyed are materials belonging to you and I.
Exactly.
They are materials, documents belonging to the Republic. You cannot take the law into your own hands and destroy them just because you want somebody to win or you want somebody to lose. Completely unacceptable.
You know, with this election, we're looking at just leaving security issues to the police and leaving out the military. But it appears after the elections, you know, we are trying to stage certain things that would automatically call the military into our space. Nana, I don't know, because now with what is happening at Dom Kwabenya, the police has called for reinforcement from the military. And we know what happens when we have the military guys on the ground.
Well, I mean, the National Election Security Task Force had, prior to the election, engaged on so many levels. They met with almost every group or body or
him the ability to know when victory is, is on the horizon. So he was telling the people he was interacting with at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology that he sees NDC's victory on the horizon, and he says that is because of the feeling and the mood of the people anywhere he visits, and that seems to be what has happened now. Let's speak to this gentleman. Yes, sir. What's your name?
My name is Anthony Adama.
Okay, Anthony, where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Gamashi.
Okay, you came from Gamashi.
Yeah, I'm still Labadi.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell me, what's the feeling like for you?
Oh, they have a happy that Mahama has win because of those kind of situation we are in Ghana now is very terrible. We are suffering, especially, Masa, when you are hungry, when you say you want to borrow some money from MTN, there's small money you borrow, you will deduct money out of it. If the boys ready to get some money where they do some vote, where they bet. When you chop money to the government, Akufo-Addo government will deduct money, they will share the money with you. Yeah, so those kind of tasks.
Taste. It spices up our everyday lives. Be the envy of others. Savor the taste of passing seasons and lasting memories. La Gruyere AOP, the taste of Switzerland since 1150.
Move to your polling station to cast your ballot.
Oh, because of the situation in Ghana, the situation we are, that be why I fought. Even yesterday, I took my car, I picked people to go and vote against Mahama, to vote against Bawumia, and so that we can get more majority in parliament too. So God so good we get it. So we are so happy that we get the massive vote for John Dramani Mahama. We know that he can do it. Mama can do it. Mama he do. He know how to do it. He will do it too. We believe Mama to do it. He will do it. Mama will do it for us. He will save Ghana. So Ghana will be in a glory in our future. Thank you.
So like I stated, more people are arriving here, and it looks like the. Over to you, Nanaya Ojima.
To begin, not long ago we were within the Asumase constituency, where the collated results were yet to be declared. A lot of the people we met there are now making their way here. Some of them have already finished collating results in their constituencies, and after the collation, they are making their way here for the party. To begin, though there is no official communication from the NDC as to what will be happening here, a lot of the people continue to come in with expectation that there may be a setup for a party within the regional office of the NDC. As you can see, the main object of the excitement here are vuvuzelas. Almost everybody walks in with a vuvuzela and they keep sounding it loud into our ears. Everybody is excited. Let's talk to some of the NDC people who are in here, who are excited about
If you don't do that, I agree.
You know, so we are gaining notoriety for now making our elections bloody.
We said no. I said everybody should go. Where concert? We said no. I said everybody should.
Exactly. So
I think, forgive me. It's sometimes the unquestionable loyalty of party followers and sometimes sheer foolishness. Because I mean, forgive me. Why would I go onto the streets and do so because a certain politician instructed me to go and fight? Why would I do that?
He's giving me money.
Because I don't have anything
sometimes
to do.
you think you love your party too much. Sometimes you might even know that nobody has sent you.
No, there's the vested interest. There's that, and then there's the attachments.
There's the person who is instructing you to go there, he should first report to that. The people who are holding the press conferences and are telling their people, go and do this, go and do that, go and... Did you see them themselves leading the process? No. Did you see their families leading the process? No. This is a process that has so much rigor and robustness built into it. So it is possible to determine the winner fairly if we all play by the rules.
Yeah, but we will not all play
No, you see, the robustness also takes into account the likelihood that people will want to circumvent the process. So if you have your pink sheet, I have mine, and they are to match each other, there's no way you can come tomorrow and tell me that,
to have good leadership, a man or a leader who has the fear of God in him, a leader who loves the people and is humble. And so the person whose heart pleases God, the person who's got compassion, they are the kinds of people that God vests the authority and the power of leadership upon, or vest in. God vests in them the power of leadership. And so when God lifts up his eyes onto the earth, and he sees his love for mankind, and he hearkens the cry, the the prayer and the cry of the people. He uses his prophets to tell the people who the will of God has chosen to lead them. And so we do not just choose leaders.
We are prophet and now we are man of God. Now one kasa the one journey
now you cannot call yourself a prophet and tell the people who God has chosen by your own mental calculations.
And we introduce this entire.
And so God intends to introduce something in this end time.
Because I say a kuobi and incrophobia and omopesomo choose leadership and leaders Emma Asasi.
Now it seems that there is a handful of people that belong to a certain society, and it seems that they are the ones who seem to placing themselves to be choosing leaders for the nations of this world.
Sabaya, wrong leadership until Oman be corrupt.
So that by virtue of wrong leadership, the nation will become corrupt.
Na Omanaya abusudie amonyame afu asasi.
And that the nation will become an abomination before God and would incur the wrath of the Lord.
And
so if you are a prophet, don't just speak.
Men for any emotion and declare that says the Lord.
Do not
choose leader. Do
not be guided or tossed about by your own emotions or will to choose a leader purportedly chosen by God but guided by your emotions for the people. No.
Because wrong leadership a corrupting nation.
Because wrong leadership corrupts nations.
Enikwa say you choose mpanini ebeye nyankopon abufu.
You see, we must not choose people into positions of leadership that God doesn't like or that will incur the wrath of God.
Leader oba nation.
Now a leader who will not lead the people by the fear of the Lord. So just like I said to you last week, go and cast your vote. But the final decision lies with God. Now I know that several prophets came out with prophecies.
In fact, and
in fact, there were some people belonging to the fetish groups or fraternity that also came out with their projections or however it's described. Now somebody sent me a video. And in that video there is somebody saying that he is from my hometown but he's a fetish priest.
And also challenging me also.
And then the person said he's throwing a challenge to me, Prophet Osubempa.
Or they bear sacrifice.
And he showed a cow that he was going to slaughter and perform a sacrifice with it. And he will never allow the prophecy of God through Prophet Owusu Bempah to come to pass. Now at every time,
leader who say what you so wrong leader.
At every time when you use your carnal sense to choose a leader, you must know that certainly you have chosen a wrong leader.
Conform say onipa fufuro bi any party fufuro bi eno ombedi nkonim enye nea Owusu Bempah kan.
Now according to the fetish priest, he said it is someone else and another party which is not the party the prophet had prophesied about. It is that other party and that other person that would win the election. In fact, what the man of God has said will not come to pass.
Now Sunday sa video no ma me no the ocho ase exercise ne yam hyehye no se bibi be me.
Now the comment the comment attached to the video which the person sent me indicated that the person was frightened because the person was considering a chance that the prophecy will not come to pass.
In fact,
you know, we do not speak in the name of the Lord for nothing. And we do not speak in the name of the Lord just for us to declare what we have intended to say. Now, the next time I'm going to preach, there are certain things I'm going to say to you. But I just want you to know that your prayer was effective and it has worked.
Now, as offering any achedia or body, the servants.
Now,
man of God.
For every servant of God, there is a peculiar call of God and gift of God that He has vested in that servant of His. Now, in the early days of my ministry, at the time when God freshly called me,
prophecy bia ebeba afame ho de na dosu umpa ne se onyame namoso ede mpaninie ebetena aman akonya so.
Now, most of the prophecies I received, the one which featured most of the times was that God was going to use you and He was going to install people into positions of leadership, national leadership. So you know, that is a significant part of the call of God on my life. And so every time I would like my members and those that follow my ministry to have clarity about the essentials of the call of God on my life.
Because
because it is likely that some people would ask, is Prophet Owusu Bempah a politician? No, I am not a politician.
But
by the grace of God and in all humility, God has often used me. God has often used me to choose leaders for nations. And God has often used me to inform the people about the person or groups of persons that He, the Lord, has chosen or designated for the nation. God does so to prove that indeed He, the Lord, is the ruler of the earth. If God doesn't rule the nation, the ruler rules in vain. And so God will continue to choose leaders for the nation
through Onyame prophets,
and he's going to do so through servants, the prophets of God, and through the servants of God.
I
believe that if we have understanding and clarity concerning these matters, it will be good for us.
Now, and then they are sorry them no more politics.
And those who often say,
I want say, you more mutinia maybe I say, no one who say, Nyame, yes, I did.
Those who often say that now it is in church that Christians, show their political colors. I'm sorry, show their political colors. They do politics in church. We must make those people understand that God is involved in the process. So when it comes to choosing leaders for the nation, the hand of the Lord must be involved in it.
Now I believe say and
I believe, amen, I believe that God is using us to plant this seed in this end time, and that seed shall abide, it shall remain, it shall grow.
Almost say democracy, almost say Kamamin Kabi, Yadikokromotie, and I yape in a chusu or candy for.
It is true that we practice democracy, and in democracy we choose leaders by voting. But let's often seek the face of God and plead with God that when it comes to the time of choosing people into positions of leadership, let him use his servants, amen, to show to the nation the choice of God.
I believe so, man.
Amen. When that happens, I believe that the nation will be God's nation. And your family and yourself together, you will be God's family. May the blessing of the Lord come upon everyone. Tell your neighbor you are blessed. Tell your neighbor once more that the blessing of the Lord is upon you. I know that many of us have lived under fright and fear.
What you mean say? Oh, man, okay. The Esiana, we am sure say, hey, dear Miss Sofu Penia can say,
and I'm sure you may have entertained certain thoughts in your mind, and you may have asked yourself, what if what my prophet has said doesn't come to pass?
Onyankopon say, Elijah, anoint Elisha.
Now God said to Elijah, anoint Elisha.
Now only know one name as a prophet,
and he would.
And
so you should get to know that God uses prophets
leaders
to
the collation.
Yes, there is yet to do the declaration, but we have the parliamentary resource indicating that the incumbent MP and Minister for Defense, Honorable Dominic Nito, has retained the seat, and currently he is even here waiting for the declaration. So that is what is going on in India. The Honorable MP is right behind me, waiting for the declaration to be done by the EC. Yes.
All right. right, thank you very much, Alabira. So in Bimbilla, it has been very peaceful, all is calm. And this is really what we expected to see.
But
you know which
in
constituency that is?
The defense minister.
You don't make me to.
Go and make mistake. Nitiwul is sitting there.
In time past, we recorded pockets of incidents there.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean the Bimbilla area, is traditionally a flashpoint because of the Kukumba Nanumba this thing. So yes, and that's a very solid history in the life of this country, and we don't want to go back there. Look, it's great that they've been able to sort it out, and it's nice. But not far away in Damongo, Abu Jinapo just sent out a post on Facebook, says, let me assure without equivocation that the MPP in the Damongo constituency has secured all the 93 certified copies of the pink sheets. Nothing can change the results of Damongo. So basically he is insisting that he's won. The NDC. Say it again?
I said, I've just said I have won.
No, well, that's what he's saying. That So without that the MPP, I mean by constructive notice, it would seem he's saying that look, they have won it and nothing that can change the result. Of course, if he had lost, he would have easily conceded defeat and let's move. But let me make the point that it's important that the parliamentary candidates should take a cue from the flag bearer of the party. If you know genuinely that you have lost. Look, Nanado sat in opposition for 8 years, he did not die. John Mahama sat in opposition for almost 8 years. He's not passed on to glory. You understand? And John Mayles, when he was alive, sat in opposition for 8 good years. Fought, the longest time possible to become president. Because the first election he fought in, it went into a runoff.
And then
right?
lived to see the end
and
of
then
time.
Yes, and then he came back, lost, and then came back again. It became another matter of 3 elections before he eventually became president. So look, Donald Trump, despite all his faults, when he was thrown away by the American people, or so people thought, he went.
John Mahama himself.
He went 8 years. He is back. So what you should tell yourself is, look, I'm like the Terminator.
I'll be back.
Let's move on. I know you have invested money.
Yeah,
but
gentlemen, on a more serious note, how
difficult to?
They have been. You and I have not been anywhere, but we are surviving.
Enjoying power for 8 years. And staying in opposition, he hard because you've enjoyed the last years of power, and you know how power feels like.
Especially when you lose your seat and you wake up Monday morning, you don't have any.
You are not a minister. You are not an MP. You are not a CEO.
And you are the type was not nice with constituents. And you live in that area.
Yes, the positioning of our elections is also bad. Normally when you are in government,
Christmas for you.
Christmas is approaching. If you are a minister or you are an MP, or you are a chief executive, Charlie, people are lining up to your office.
Of course.
Hampers, or honorable, or this, or that, or that. But the moment there's an announcement that
no hamper, the hamper has been
addressed. Like the people who are always honorable.
They will never come to you again.
You call people
destination.
Charlie, they will call people Charlie, you hear ping, nothing is happening. So sometimes you understand. And you have put your last in the elections.
Mine is the fact that we'll all be in traffic.
Charlie, but I've seen people go and come back.
Oh yeah,
we call them I shall return.
Yeah.
They lose, they concede, they move on.
But on a more serious note, how do we ensure as a people that we, moving on, have very smooth elections? Because I don't think just going to the police station to cast your vote should cost you your life. How do we ensure, if we need to strengthen state institution, what do we have to do? Because I thought that after what happened, 8 years ago and 4 years ago, we had done with all this. What do we need to do as a people?
It will improve. It's a matter of time. It will improve. The last election, 8 people, even one death, one life is important. The last election, 8 people. This year, I know of only 2.
Well, some people are suggesting 4.
Around 4.
Yeah.
Yes, even though a life matter, any life matters.
With severe injuries as well.
At least it's reduced from the previous election. I'm sure as time goes on, every year there's voter education here in, here out. It will get to a time where we will not record any death, we will not record violence in any constituency. It's a matter of our democracy is just 30 years. And the other democracies that we look up to are 200 years and 100 years.
But that's not. Look, we no.
30 years in the life of
besides,
this is 30 years practice of democracy in Africa. In Ghana.
but we have.
It's not.
I agree. We have examples. Listen, we have examples, so we don't have to make same mistakes.
No,
we have people to look up to.
No,
so we need to be able to learn.
I agree, but it's a learning curve. You know, it takes time. We will grow as a country. We will. When we started in 92, when we started in 92 election, is it what we are seeing now? No, there's a vast improvement.
We've come from far.
So just let's give ourselves time.
What we are saying
as time goes on,
the violence and the loss of lives, it needs to start from somewhere, and we need as a people to be honest with ourselves that we really want to do this and find consensus on doing this. How many white papers are there on committee reports and recommendations regarding electoral violence? Have they been acted on? How many cases of electoral violence have not been settled as at yet? What punishments are being meted out to persons who have been found to have engaged in electoral violence?
Do we see some of these issues to its logical conclusion?
Are there structures or systems to deter people from engaging in some of these things? Or we are leaving it to the political parties and the assurances that they give to these persons to go ahead and engage, the protection that they promise them? You see, and the political parties themselves need to be very honest with themselves and with their following, as well as Ghanaians as a whole.
Why do you go and sign a peace bar?
Exactly.
Which enjoins you to conduct yourself in a certain way. Yeah. And then the next available opportunity, you are inspiring your people to go out there and do the kinds of things.
That remains a question.
It was the same thing I said when this particular part was signed.
So you see, the level of irresponsibility and responsibility that politicians should shoulder for this is really, really high. Because if you don't radicalize the language, if you don't make your language acerbic during the election years, and then also during the campaigning process, and then during the voting process, these things will not happen. People will sit at home, they will trust that the process is going on well, and if there are disputes, there are ways of resolving it.
Well, so I want to believe that in the course of today, we will have all the results for parliamentary, and then we can put everything to rest. And
we need to see presidential, despite the concession, we need to see presidential.
Yeah, I'm sure
I'm interested in how Alan and Cheddar fared at the end of the day.
Okay, all the best. Right, so gentlemen, I think on that note, in fact, this one, nobody is motivating you. This is self-motivated, all right? You are on your own. So, Nana, then we'll leave you.
You are in trouble. You have 2 awards.
You have a liberty, right? So,
congratulations to the winners. Yes, congratulations to those who have actually accepted defeat and are happy with it. Look, better luck next time. It is not the end of the road. Keep the faith, people. Keep the faith.
It is well. It is well. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Sky. Thank you, Salon. And Nana, this is the Election Bureau. We take a breather here. When we return, we have Sanda and his team also coming in. Don't worry, you may have known how the presidential has gone, but you still need the details. And also, we need to carry through with the parliamentary as well. So we are not leaving you until we have every detail from the EC for you. This is the Election Bureau. I'm Frema Edunyame.
Life is a celebration of moments. Big and small.
The sun is scorching, I'm feeling the heat.
With Piva Drink, every moment becomes a refreshing celebration. From the beach to your home, to every corner of your world.
Mr. Sunny, NDC seats, Dodo say 182, 88, 188. Hey. 188. Are they? Anyway, not just say, Oma Fafikasiam Honina 188. Man Shadakra. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh, sorry. 188. Now, Openi asame. Say Oma Kamani Nari. Papa bra. Enankasano. Asorena na yayem. Inshan count. Papa. Oma Kani Nari. Omunye. Sorry. 188 ni there. Confirm. Na say no. Oma Penny John Dramani Mahama Onyasai presidential no Onyasai. Omoda su okay baby o ma collate here duru na no Onyasai 6.3.
Abusa Foguswa Esha United Television na sabre eye osofo usubempa na kache ne ekoye no de na no disem atudwa wabobo nsem ne bebre so wose de onu nyame yi da na di a kire no na woka wo hu ya wonka no bekoso so aka enti eye na sori ma wo made nyina de nyame e de adom no na ono nso ode dum oman Ghana enti nsem ode atudwen dese ne komsha wo hye no abamu awie e de amana sabre ye won komo twetwe eso menya eye Tofik Adamu Muhammad a political and communication lecturer at UPSC. Tofik, what's the main come in Wakaba?
Yeah, in Kapa.
Bibia Boko, dear.
Bibia Boko, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Meaning, say, about both political parties, we have for two no others, Nadia. You say after the election, you said a turnout, Casibia, Ewo. My share a NPP. Any NDC. Omo proper slogan no we use resetting for the NDC and then upgrade for NPP. NDC ekaye o ye ba 24-hour economy and no between and sembebre ye buy a manamo mobile university free entrance fee and also boshani de omushe bebre and the NPP for so e de omo de by bold solutions credit score way uchi di say CCA we say electoral commission in fact the final results and by there but said the amanyo empanyfo yi be congratulating manpanyin dada John Dramani Mahama turnout ayenya CCA is it based on and someone more sell it to Ghanaians say omo be no nti and a Ghana for ato NDC for the na a chain NPP diana.
Okay, Mr. Well, call here from me to hear my opinion on the election, results. First of all, Mr. Inchiaka Sekasemezemo. Number 10 to meet here, it's for our UTV or we are seeing now. Okay, so let's start them respond to question from slogans are both political parties, which it is. NDC John Mahama Kade, they are going to reset the country. And NPP's Bawumia also saying it is possible. Now, let's we do we call something, you know, in social linguistics, critical discourse analysis. Now, if you do a critical discourse analysis of NPP one slogan, it is possible now. Clearly, there's that inherent admission there that the election is going to be very difficult for them. But they are only hopeful there we win the election. I mean, if you do a critical discourse analysis of this statement, it is possible now. Clearly, it tells you there, and the NPP phone Bawumia admits there, you know, it is going to be very difficult for them, and you'll be easy or Zamon. But they are only hopeful there. Yes, they can do it. So in a election campaign away messages away now. NPP for one message, they crafted it around education, ESHS, one digitalization, you know, policies. While the NDC was looking at the economy. Now, them may be in the market work of training. And Ghanaians, the debate about the economy resonated very well with Ghanaians, and it explains why our NDC will win the election. One would ask, why was the message on the economy resonated with the electorate than NPP for one policy on education? Now, it also leads us to the current economic conditions that we find ourselves. People Ghanaians easily related with economic issues because Ghana, we've gone through a whole lot of things. If you look at the Russia-Ukraine war and many other factors are contributing to our downturn in our economy. So the NDC's message on the economy, you know, reason Ghanaians bought much into it. The reason why, you know, Ghanaians voted for the NDC against the NPP. And it doesn't really mean that both of them didn't have messages. Yes, all of them have messages, and their messages were very fantastic. But if you look at the conversation on the economy, was a pressing issue to Ghanaians than the conversation on education. Some time ago, I mean, 8 years back, the NPP campaigned on education, and they won the elections for 2 terms. They won the election. But this time around, the issue clearly we can see from the outcome of the results in there was not about education, was about the economy. And for me, I understand these two. I mean, this to be the reason why the NDC won the election. Yeah.
Tofik Mayensha, moving forward will there be a time where Yebeka say Amayoko we say 8 years, but based on a year or more policies or more best sell it to Ghanaians, a bit me resonate said the okay, you know, I'm on my bed to Manase Rawamu, I'm on Manyantia Siaka say ye retain him Monsai Enkobi.
If you are the part there, them questioning. You know, it tells you that Ghanaian electorate, you know, from election after election, we are developing. Okay? You know, it is changing. Who would expect there? Look at what happened in Ashanti region. Who would expect there NDC will make this kind of gains in Ashanti region? They should tell you there, you know, there are some regions that, no, it is possible, it is highly possible that a candidate would be able to break, you know, the 8-year political sector. Please, I'm using this phrase, it is possible, not in the political sense, but, you know, in an expressive sense. So, yes, a time will come that a political party, either NDC or NPP, would one day be able to break the age based on one contribution or based on how Ghanaians have accepted their policies and their governance.
So, we share apart from economy and somehow can say Enopa was the major thing NDC agina so ede ye omo campaign e ton de ma Ghana for a wo mo etoye no ye no free hono ma obeka say naturally no e ka me say Ghanaians are used to 8 years. Once a obeba ubedi 8 years no na say ya brew ni aye fed up, or either say oba based on the promises I will be making no say ye any tangible evidence say adie we I will promise ye no indeed ye so mu say ya ye hu me ko ha say ya me ko to a e ko form me ye say ya there will always be an apathy vote for vote against the ruling party. Sana, is that the trend?
Because I know there is sufficient data in the literature over there since the Fourth Republic. No government or no party has gone beyond 8 years. I mean, there's sufficient evidence, to make that conclusion or to make that generalization. But I think it goes beyond just 8 year cycle. It goes beyond just 8 year cycle. There are other indicators not to or contribute to those decisions. And in this particular election, I'm telling you, it was not because Ghanaians were fed up. I mean, the MPP has done 8 years, so they have to go for NDC to come. I think there were issues about the economy and the economic issue or the economic conditions that Ghana contributed largely, to the campaign. I mean, to NDC's victory. And I'm saying so because there's a campaigner, NDC led by John Mahama. There's a campaigner, NPP led by Bawumia. There's a Juma NPP especially Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia called almost 275 or 76 constituencies. He entered every home. I mean, he did everything that every leader would do. He did everything. No stone was,
left out.
Was left out. So he worked very hard. But still, he couldn't make the result. He couldn't pass the exam. You understand? He couldn't, and I can tell you, the NPP campaigned vigorously than the NDC. The NPP campaign, Bawumia campaigned vigorously than the NDC. Yes, he couldn't win the election. So that should tell you that it is not just about the 8 years. There are other things that Ghanaians did not accept about the government and the reason why they had to vote them out. And for me, I think they are the very economic issues that we are facing as a country now.
Tofik, somebody made a statement or say you share a year 2024 elections here. It is not NDC against NPP, but rather it is Ghana against NPP. Analytically, Obeka say Nipaneka was based on the economy.
Yes, I don't know the basis in which Nipakron Okadamasam there is Ghana against NPP, but I wouldn't want to look at it, that way. I want to see it as NDC, the main opposition party, the NDC against the ruling government, the NPP. Because all the lens was on them. Everybody was listening to what the NDC is saying and what the NPP is also saying, and it is reflective in the results. If you look at the other political parties, almost they couldn't even make. I don't think they even make 1% at the end of all of them put together. I don't think they will even make 1% of the total vote cast. So it tells you that the election here it was between the two parties, was between NDC and the MPP. Yes, NPP can claim, they represent Ghana because Bawumia kept on saying, this election is about Ghana. Mahama also kept on saying we are also going to reset Ghana. So all of them claim to advance the interests of the country, or and not their political party. Okay. So both of them can say that it is Ghana. The election is about Ghana. Or the election is about NDC, NPP. Which of them has the best interest of Ghana at heart, or which of them has the best program and policies that will push Ghana forward? And I think that decision has been made yesterday.
say too early to, you know, ask this, but we hear Ocheche need na so eba a politics musu so what do you call a woman bisa we say you share said this turnout SCI the margin even about parliamentary candidates now I cook them for majority of them lose or seat almost I mean it's so overwhelming the way MPP for say lose or seat moving forward no one is 4 years for Mahama. Because after 4 years, no own to me and could be. Is there going to be a pressure on them? Because now look say expectations are high. This economy and immediately, you know, we want a swift, you know, change. Said the beya ne no see a bit me at all. Promises of one making in the space of 4 years, would they be able to accomplish all these? And also the next election, you know, a bit me any effect and so on.
Okay. So I think it will be too early for now for me to say whether the NDC will be able to fulfill its one promises I will make you or not. But what I can say is that there are lots of expectations from the NDC because Ghanaians are going to hold every word of theirs accountable. Because Ghanaians were too ambitious based on promises NDC was more. So they are going to expect a better economic condition. They are going to expect lots of infrastructure. They are going to expect more of accountability. They want to expect a fight against corruption. They want to expect more on integrity. They want to expect more on honesty. So these will be the indicators for measuring the next NDC government. And NPP, some people say the NPP they are very good at opposition, and I'm telling you, NPP will give them a chase for their, you know, a run for their money or whatever they say. NPP will keep them on check. I know they will do that. So it is up to the NDC to sit up and then be able to work very, very hard, not to repeat some of the mistakes, you know, the NPP parliamentary candidates, you know, made. I don't expect the NDC to do that because, I mean, what has happened is a learning point for every politician, especially the NDC, which is now a government elect. It is a learning point for them. They need to learn from their mistakes, and they should remember they also came back from opposition, you know, and they have learned they have sat aback, and they have seen the way NPP, you know, went about their things. So I'm sure by now the NDCs they've done their homework, they have learned a lot. So I would expect that NDC would bring on board something different. Other than that, I can assure you, Ghanaians will do same to them as they did to the NPP.
Okay, but Tofik, you share I mean now you say you share the current parliament. 37, one independent candidate. I will not know.